All right, we are back. Switching gears into some more insanity going on online. So let's go ahead and play the intro and then we will get going. Hey, y'all. Thanks for joining me again. We are going to jump into this. We are going to discuss some people that I've never talked about today, so it'll be interesting. Hey, Shorty. Hey, we gobshit, I think is shite. Hey, Sue Ellen, Cash, Janice in Accounting, Mark, Bo, Nicole, Claus. I do, Sue Ellen. I've heard quite a bit of discussion about that chat, my love. Thank you for the phone call. A one-way street. Oh, a one-way street. I will make sure to get that up so you can get a link for that. Dimple Duck, Hippie Chick, Natalie, Liz, Miss Brittany. Shit, it just bumped me. Lindsay, I used to be cool. Lisa, Alyssa, Pepper, Perry, Duchess, Terry. Smiles, my eyes are going crossed. Generally Jenny, Wendy, Cammie, I am too. Generally Jenny, kind of. Limey, good to see you. Lisa K. Okay, I think I got everybody. Andy, I got through it. Okay, let's go. Let's just get into this. This is all going to be under fair use. This is based on their public content that they've put out here publicly in their pursuit of victimizing and re-victimizing victims and their families. We are going to be talking about the Sebastian Rogers case and the misinformation that continues to get spread, and the family members who are not convicted of anything right now. Nobody has been cleared. However, law enforcement has stated that no foul play is suspected. They've also stated that this is not a criminal investigation. This is a common investigation. There was a news update about that last night. We kind of talked about that yesterday, but that's been one of the rumors going on. We are going somewhere that I've never been before. This person has been popping up on my algorithm lately, and let me just say there's so much to be said about this one. But we are going to start back with pick a lie, any lie. Okay. Sounds something right up my alley. I like to pick out lies. So we're going to start a few minutes into her streams. She is one that there's some stuff I can understand why she does some things, but there's a line that she hops right over, and I'll show you that really fast. So buckle up. This is going to be a lot shoved in one because we've got a few places that we are going to head.
What's really going on? Pick a lie, any lie. Let's have a round of applause for our good friend, Brittney.
So in the midst of talking about a missing child, she plays game show music like it's some sort of fucking game show to bring up a guest such as Brittney J, who I've got a lot to say to too. I mean, you get the gist. No, thank you. No,
And you,
I could care less about.
Hello, Brittany. So glad you could join us this morning.
Oh my God, she's
okay. Well, I'm loving the music and you throw up the rock there for me.
Yeah,
I'm feeling welcome this morning. I see you.
absolutely. Look at that. Connie said, "Yay, Brittany. Hey, Britt."
Hey,
This is Crime Lines and Lies. I guess her name or channel thing is Brooks. I have no idea. Nothing. Again, don't need to know anything personal about her. We're pointing out her current behavior and exploitation of a missing child.
Connie, how are you? Good morning, everybody.
So let me start with this.
Okay.
Are you worried about the eclipse today?
Oh, nah. Honestly, like not. It's so reminiscent of Y2K. I think like the most concern I have is it's going down during school pickup time.
Mm-hmm.
People are maniacs, so I don't know. I'm contemplating on going and checking the kids out of school. Because I mean, you know how people are, Brooks.
Oh,
Anybody go out in the dark? I mean, it was a whole 4 minutes of darkness, but okay.
And I know there's going to be some
mob mentality. I love this from the Dairy Queen. It says,
anyways, you can see where that's headed. Then they joke around a little bit.
well, I think I'm going to be streaming it from the backyard because I don't want Linda up my ass. So I'm going to be in the backyard.
We're going
to on. You remember the movie Dolores? No clue.
Okay.
Ever heard you say something about Don Wells and how he knew exactly what buttons to push?
Mm-hmm.
I said this the other day. I'm a Christian, so don't get me wrong. I believe we should repent and believe Jesus and all of that. But come on, do you really think that Chris Proudfoot's going to look at a repent sign and he's going to have a come to Jesus moment? I think he's laughing at this. I honestly do.
Laughing at this? Now we have, if you didn't see last night, now we have them advertising that they are going to the campground where the Proudfoot family is currently located, staying because of safety issues. Now they're going to be going down there this weekend. So they've all been promoting this protest rebuke session that they think they're going to have with the Proudfoots, putting innocent families in danger and inciting, in my opinion, something to be pushed way too far with the mother and the stepfather of a missing child.
I don't think it's going to help him.
Yes. He's really enjoying pushing the buttons. He's bragging about it on Facebook. Now we look at the Madeline Soto case. Mm-hmm. Soto was very vocal on her Facebook until people were asking the wrong questions. Now they're the right questions, but for Jen, they were wrong because she knew she couldn't possibly answer them. We're going to do a show about Madeline tomorrow morning. And she changed her name on Facebook.
Okay, so she does a lot of this mixing things together. There's a specific part, though. Brittany ends up falling off. She does all these other things. She gets into this news article. But she highlights some stuff that I want to talk about, and it's going to segue us into the next section of what we're going to discuss. So let me go back here a second, and we're going to start from here.
Against my better judgment, I happen to see a channel talking about Sebastian.
This is not Crime Lines channel over here. If anybody, Jason, it looks like you're confused. I am pointing out the exploitation that she is doing in this case. Just so you are aware, my name is Becky. You can call me nonsense. You can call me cunt Essa. Say it right if you're going to say it, Brittany. Anyways, you can call me whatever. Just not Crime Lines and Lies.
Sebastian the other night. And they clipped where Seth is saying he will come home and he will come home alive. Is that not the hope that any parent would have? And they said, this proves what Katie is saying about how unhinged he is. What parent is going to go on TV except Don Wells and say, well, I'll see Sebastian in the resurrection? Of course he wants his son to be found alive. Of course that's his hope.
And just so we are aware, this is videos from 4 days ago. Yes, I am aware she brought Seth on her panel today. We will talk about that at a later date. We even might throw some of that in here today, depending on what I decide to show you guys. But this was from 4 days ago.
I mean, I really wonder about some of these people.
Hmm.
I don't get it.
Hmm.
Unhinged?
Hmm.
That shows what Katie is saying is true about Seth. They're really wanting to make Seth a villain. And I'm not digging it.
No, none of the family should be villainized. Truthfully. I mean, but if you're going to sit here and pick apart every single thing Katie and Chris have said, done, or anything, why aren't you doing the same to Seth? Oh, wait, because he's coming on and giving you content. He's coming on and being a part of your shows to give you content, right? That's why you're not villainizing him.
Do I think Seth has made mistakes as a father? Yeah, I do. I do. I think he shouldn't have taken the bullying, the blackmail from Chris and Katie.
The bullying and blackmail, such strong words.
I think he should have asserted his rights as a father. He already knows that.
You're good, Jason.
Why add the insult to injury? But to sit there and say he's unhinged because he's saying Sebastian, he's going to find Sebastian alive, that's what any parent would say. I'm going to put the link up. We've got Muscles that has a lot to say. We got Trev time in here.
Sebastian's army. We will find him. We will find him alive. We will find him well.
Sebastian's father, Seth Rogers, thanking all those who have given up their time to help search for his son. Sebastian's grandparents also speaking out, coming all the way from Texas for a second.
Grandma breaks my heart. Grandma breaks my heart. Just
okay, she is completely obnoxious. I just gotta say it.
Watch Grandma.
Time to help locate their grandbaby.
He loved to talk about plants with me. He loved to talk about animals with me. He loved to go fishing. And he would say, you know, Mimo, that's our favorite sport, right?
Sebastian's family also had a strong message for anyone looking to benefit from their search efforts.
You're going to be out here doing what needs to be done to bring our grandson home.
I just love the grandma. Now, let me talk about Katie's father.
Why not play the rest of it where she says to stop profiting off of their pain and suffering? Why not continue to let that play?
I'm not going to put any of the posts up, okay? Hang on. Trev said she is a wonderful person. I've had the honor to talk to her. The mama every child deserves, in my opinion. She wants her grandson.
I bet they are loving grandparents. We have no reason to believe they're not. Absolutely none on any side of the coin.
Well, look who we have backstage. It's the one and only Muscles and Mascara. Good morning, Muscles.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How is it going?
How's it going? I don't have very long. I have a stinking meeting to get to here in a few minutes, but
that's okay. Hey, that's okay. So let's get through it. What are you thinking?
Well, I feel like they're the parallels, and you know,
she thinks she's fucking Jerry Springer the way she like announces this like it's some sort of come on fucking down, sign right up. You could win $1,000 on the Wheel of Fortune. Like, what the fuck is with this? You were talking about a missing child. It's not a goddamn game show. There's no fucking prize here, no matter what the outcome is, because no matter what, their lives will never be the same. Because of people like you and the continual spread of misinformation and re-victimization of victims and their families.
We do not like to necessarily compare, but it does feel like there's a similar case to Summers, and it's really interesting how close the proximities are of the two, that they potentially might have heard a few things and figured out how to really confuse people, how to put out a different narrative.
You notice how that went right there? Yep, we're going to start overlapping Summer and Sebastian. Huge problems. That doesn't just happen on this one, though.
Those kind of things for people, and just to completely convolute the process. Like, I'm not saying that they're guilty. Maybe they're not. You know, maybe they're not. But they're not doing anything to help themselves appear not to be guilty. And I think that's the problem for me. Like, if they were not guilty, why are you running from people? Why do you give the innuendos that you send off all the time with your on your interviews and stuff that you're doing? Why are you bashing Seth for going out and trying to find his son? Why are you not standing beside of him at the press conferences? Why are you not standing beside of him at a vigil? And none of that makes any sense to me whatsoever. If you're in fact not guilty, I would stand in my truth and pound on my chest and say, I'm not guilty of anything. I am here with law enforcement, and I stand hand in hand with them.
And we have no reason to believe that they're not standing next to law enforcement, especially after what even Seth said today on Crime Lies and, oh, wait, it's Crime Lines and Lies. It's just Crime Lies to me. But anyways, on her channel, we have no reason to believe that they're not working with law enforcement. In fact, they were there locally for weeks on end. Who, chat, came to the internet and asked for help and brought awareness to Sebastian's case? Was it Chris and Katie, or was it Seth to begin with?
And that is not what we're getting at all. So that's why the public perception is you did something to your son.
It is the public perception. You're exactly right. And you're not making yourself look any better. I think about the case in upstate New York with Charlotte Senna. The parents were not at any press conference. You know why? Because they refused to leave the park when they shut it down, because they said, we're not leaving here without our daughter. She's got to be around here somewhere.
Exactly.
And they took shifts going back and forth, searching that park. So it's more important for them to be looking for their daughter. Thankfully, she's alive, than to be on a press conference. There's a time and place for that.
So now they're complaining because the parents were participating in a press conference. Make it make sense. You're pissed because they won't give you the answers that you want. You're pissed because they're not out there doing what you expect them to do. You're pissed because they were out eating dinner at a restaurant, at a Cracker Barrel for all things, while they were hanging up flyers. What else are you going to be pissed about?
Katie and Chris are not out searching. Chris is doing nothing but pissing people off. He's enjoying it.
He does.
Oh, really? He's enjoying it, huh? Because he's clapping back at some of the insanity that has been said about them, the pure life-changing rumors and speculation.
Yes, you're exactly right. He absolutely enjoys it. He loves to spin things in a completely different direction. He's just that arrogant. I feel like he is just that. That's my opinion, but I feel like he is just that arrogant. And then Katie, people sit there and say, she's like a battered woman, and maybe she is. I'm not making judgments on that. It's not my place to make a judgment call on. But my question is, if in fact that is true, and you are such a battered woman, explain to me how Chris can be gone, aka according to him, for a month at a time, and you don't find your way out, or you don't find nobody to help you. I'm going to call bullshit on it. I can't help it.
Battered women don't have affairs with other men, and
You ignorant, absolute fool. Battered women do not have affairs with other men. Battered women do not have affairs with other men. First and foremost, that was a rumor. We don't even have any indication that that was true. Secondly, yes, that happens quite often. In fact, when they are trying to escape, that actually does happen. The ignorance of this pisses me off.
the word on the street is she's had multiple. Battered women too scared to spend a dime.
Yeah. Well, and they run when they can, right? That's the thing. You run when you can.
How are you going to be scared of someone who's home every 6 weeks? And my question is, how was he planning on taking care of Faith when he's never home? And let's face it, he's 3 hours away. Who couldn't make it home on a Friday and return to work on Monday that far away?
Yeah, and
you can't make this shit up.
I feel like that's the thing for me is that there's all these different little things that people are throwing out that, maybe she was whatever, maybe it was this, maybe it was that, and he's controlling and all that. I'm sure he probably is. But, mothers in particular are people who are going to protect themselves and their children at all cost. It doesn't matter what situation you're put in. And if you're afforded the opportunity to be by yourself day in and day out for a month at a time, and you don't go get help and tell somebody what's going on, well, I have a question that wholeheartedly.
So now they've got a complete other narrative made up.
Same here.
And the other thing is, Brooks, is how often does the story have to change?
The story hasn't changed. The facts haven't changed. The only thing that's changed is the rumors and speculation that come out of your guys' mouths.
The story, listen, I realize that every time
there's been inconsistencies across the board for all the family members that have spoke. Start pointing them out across the board. If you're going to start throwing mud, do it across the board. But nope, it doesn't fit your narrative. You just want to painted in a certain direction.
Tell a story that the details maybe either get more embellished or they may get whatever, they may get confused or, sound confusing, but the storyline doesn't change as far as, I told Sebastian to go to bed, and then next thing you hear is there's a thud, and next thing you know, there's all these different things that come out, these really important details that are so important to figure out or to say at the very start. And, you choose to not share that. But then when you go to,
chances are they shared it with law enforcement, who is the only one that really is necessary to know this information. But carry on.
Someone else, there's a whole other detail that brings up a whole other perspective of what could have happened to him. Then there's a whole other conversation to be had because you didn't bring that up to start with. Why? That's really important. If in fact she heard a thud, that is super important. And then Chris says, well, if he got out the window, we would have heard it. Well,
all of this information was in law enforcement hands. The story really has not shifted. The basis of the story hasn't changed. The inconsistencies are private details about their personal lives and their divorces and all of these other situations that none of us really need to know. Again, law enforcement needed to have this information. If law enforcement has a trouble tracking down the timeline and any of the details of it, they will get to the bottom of that, not social media. You guys aren't out here solving anything. You're just causing problems.
Well, that's interesting, Chris. I didn't realize that you could have heard that from three hours away, but that's interesting that you say that.
Reminds me of Don Wells talking to Brian Enton saying maybe we just weren't paying attention.
Yes. Thank you. Yes.
It's not possible for me to say we if I'm not there.
Exactly. And I'm not going to say we if I wasn't there. I'm just not.
I'm so glad that there's so many perfect people out here. It's unbelievable.
It's just, I don't know.
Then we wouldn't have needed a phone call to tell we that Sebastian's missing. We would have been in the damn house.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And I would be going on, if this was, God forbid, if it was my son, God forbid, because Sebastian is my son's age, and I just think about that all the time and how devastating that has to be. But when I was on Nancy Grace, if I would have been on Nancy Grace and was getting all these questions asked at me and, all this different stuff, instead of talking like I'm just beaten down and terrible, I would be standing up there saying, whoever you are that has my son, you bring him home to me now. You bring him home to me. You people get out there and look for him. TBI, sorry if you don't want me going to look, but I'm going to go freaking look for my kid. I'm going to stand beside of you like Brandy Mill does, and I'm going to go around and watch where you're going because I don't want to screw up my son's case, but I will be present when he is found, and I'll be damned if I'm freaking hours away from my home. You got to be kidding me.
Do you not think that they have a plan in place in case he was to come home? Do you not think that their local law enforcement knows where the family is and what to do in that situation? Do you think they just under the darkness, they just beat it out of town? Like, are these people really this?
Isn't that convenient? And how, where else have we seen that happen?
Well, and I want to talk first. I'm going to bring Trev up, and I'm going to put you both in the hot seat. Have a round of applause for Trevor. He brought this case to everyone to the forefront. We wouldn't have known. He was on court TV the other night. Could not be more proud to call him a friend. I don't mean proudfoot. More proud to call Trevor a friend than I am with this case. Wrong clip.
Another game show entrance.
Good morning, Trevor. I know you have been busier than a three-pecker billy goat. How is it going?
That's appropriate while discussing a missing child. Super appropriate.
Good morning. Yeah, I have. I'm good though. How are you guys?
Very good. So you have met the grandparents, and you said that this is a grandma that every child should have.
That's how I feel. Absolutely.
Let's talk about Sebastian's maternal grandfather. His name's Dave. I'm not going to.
Oh, Joy, I know a whole hell of a lot. If it's your first time in here, get ready to buckle up if you stay long enough, because you'll probably learn a few things about the reality of the harm that they're doing to this victim and the victim's family, and continually do to many victims. Sit down, stay a while. You might actually learn something because you think I don't know anything. Meanwhile, it sounds like you're pretty ignorant.
Direct anyone to his Facebook. He's busy over there too. He made a post. He commented on his own post. He said, I'm in Virginia. All I care about is Sebastian's safe return. And I do believe, in caps, Seth had something to do with it, just a gut feeling. What do you think about that statement?
Personally, I think it's very far-fetched to believe Seth had anything to do with this. Out of all 3 adults in this situation, he's the only one out there looking. He's the only one that's not running 3.5 hours away, and he's out there
running. They didn't run 3.5 hours away, no matter which way you try to twist it. And not acknowledging that there's a safety issue is a huge problem. And just because he's out there on the ground, okay, that doesn't mean anything. And I'm sorry, but as young as you are, I'm not going to really take your judge of character over what to believe or not. Again, just not.
He's cried for his son. I spoke to Seth for about 5 hours when I was in town there, and he told me all about Sebastian, and the man shed tears. I mean, this is not an act. He's really broken by the fact that his son's missing.
Completely agree. I don't think Seth had anything to do with it either. I think it's ludicrous to say that. You know, are we saying that he hired somebody to do it because he was on, you know, he's at work and it was proven at work? Yeah, I'm just really confused why people think that. Is it because he's involved and he's out looking? Is that the reason why people come to that perception of him? I don't understand that, because that's how people are supposed to react when their children are missing.
So the grace was given to Seth, but not to Chris? Because according to law enforcement, Katie was the last one with him. Interesting how that always works out.
They're supposed to be going out and finding them. They're supposed to be frantic, not talking so proper and so I just don't know. On
to anybody that is actually a mental health therapist or works in the mental health arena, it is really interesting to me that you guys can fucking condone this BS about how people are supposed to behave in a traumatic situation. It is beyond me that people can support this type of BS and state that they're not acting correctly. How is a correct response to trauma? What is a correct response to trauma? I've seen so many people in their comment section saying, I'm a mental health therapist, I do this. Their behavior is off. Well, I wouldn't want you as a therapist, because trauma responses are different for every human being. Anxiety looks different for every single person. So exactly what is the correct, well, they're going to tell us.
TV, that's not how real people act. It's just not.
I can tell you why. The initials are CV, clicks and views, because you're not going to get the views you want without some drama. And everyone knows that the telescope is on Katie and Chris. So if they change it and they're tearing down Seth, they're going to get more attention. That is just my opinion. Paternal.
What? You just admitted that it's all about the clicks and the views. That's why you started tearing Chris and Katie down. But that's why you think people are starting to point out inconsistencies in Seth's own statements? The irony of that.
I'm not paternal, sorry. Katie's father, so maternal papa, was arguing with people, and he said they, meaning Chris and Katie, are doing whatever the investigators tell them to do. He goes on to say they never left town and they are doing what the investigators are telling them to do. I'll start with Trevor.
Yes.
This is coming from Sebastian's grandfather. You would think that he would want all the answers. He's saying that Chris and Katie are doing whatever the investigators tell them to do. Could be. I don't know. I don't know what they told him. He said they never left town and they're doing what the investigators are telling them to do. We know they left town. We saw them on Nancy Grace. They were in the RV in Mississippi.
Yeah, they didn't just leave town. They left the state.
And your point is there's huge safety concerns, but now you guys are taking them to the Yogi Bear campground, right? That's what you guys have been advertising all over social media.
So, of course, it's opinion and speculation only, but what are you thinking, Trev? Why do you think the local law enforcement said no foul play, no evidence of foul play? Because you know as well as I do, there's a difference between no evidence and no evidence of foul play.
Yeah, well, there's a difference between evidence and suspicion. I'm sure that they've had that theory. I don't know, but I'd say that they've thought that. But at the same time, it's only a certain amount of concrete evidence you'll have. I mean, you can have something that disproves somebody's story or something, but none of that connects you to foul play. And maybe I'm not saying there's anything to disprove their story, but let's just say even in theory there is, it still is not enough to be concrete evidence of foul play, because you don't have Sebastian and you don't have any physical evidence of a crime. Well, you're you can't really prove a foul play situation without that.
No evidence is totally different than suspicion. You're exactly right. We have the 2 women that are missing right now in Oklahoma. They came across the car, law enforcement. They've got iron.
You can't keep focus on one. She's got to continue to muddy the water by talking about all these other cases and situations. No, they're each individually way different and shouldn't be muddied like this.
Clad evidence, there's foul play. What law enforcement did not say in last week's press conference, put this in your hat, write it down. They didn't use the word suspicion. They said evidence. Evidence is different than what they think. There would not be an Amber Alert, and they damn sure wouldn't have been searching that landfill if they weren't suspicious of foul play. Your turn, Muscles.
Now, I agree with that. And I think that's the one thing that I keep going back to is
nothing is ruled out. It's not that hard. Again, nothing is ruled out according to law enforcement, who is actually the investigative agency on this. Thank God it's not social media YouTubers, but they don't have anything to support foul play. Could that change? Yes. But right now they don't have evidence to provide that theory. And so what?
Why were they there? There was something that took them there. And was it just to spot check it? Sure. But, and I agree with the whole statement of evidence and suspicion and that kind of thing too, because I just feel like that, just because there's no evidence of foul play, we've heard those terms used before. I'm just saying, but just because there's no evidence just because they haven't found any evidence doesn't mean there isn't any. And that to me, that's what they're saying. We've not found any evidence of foul play, so there is no evidence. You're right, there is none. But maybe it's just because they've not found any.
And I don't
it doesn't exist.
Call for Tennessee, but in Oklahoma, they don't just go searching landfills.
Do you forget about the rumors that were swirling around social media that I'm sure got called into the TBI tip line about supposedly he had been asking people to put him in a garbage can? Do you remember those rumors that were initially swirling around that he had been asking people to put him in a garbage can? Don't you think that might have been one of those things of, oh shit, we probably need to investigate that lead, see where it takes us, and that might be why they ended up checking the landfills? I mean, you think about the rumors and all of the stories that have changed and been on social media, that would probably be logical. Again, I have no idea, thank God, why they actually chose to search it. But there was rumors in the beginning of this about that.
They start at the home and they move out. They have to have a scent or some reason to believe.
Exactly. And I guarantee that rumor got called into TBI and reported as a tip, and they have to investigate every tip. And then they turned it into, look, they're searching the landfill, all of this shit.
A child would be in a landfill. They just don't go into a landfill.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they should. I don't know. But they start searching water, field.
Yeah. Anybody else remember that rumor going around? That was one of the things that they were saying. They were like, there was nothing behind it, but these issues are why it's so important to be factual, because it wastes time and resources. It can pull things away. Now, law enforcement might have gone off a completely different theory of why they actually went and searched that. But that was a rumor that was going around at that same time.
Fields, woods, things like that. Also, Katie's dad, he got into it with several people. He said, I'm not in Tennessee, number one, because people were saying maybe he's got something to do with it. No, I don't think Sebastian.
Sis, that's a very valid point too. And then they also started the rumor that the garbage can was heavier that day. How they know that, how the garbage can being heavier is even something they would have noticed. There's an electronic arm that comes out and lifts the garbage can. I don't know if these people are assuming two people like go out and jump on the back of a truck, and that's old school stuff. I don't know if Hendersonville is like living in the 1800s and doesn't have the automatic arms that come out. I don't know how that would be. I would also be interested to know, does Hendersonville have cameras in the back of their waste management trucks? That's something I would really like to know.
Sebastian's grandfather has anything to do with his disappearance. But he goes on to say, number two, all in caps, fuck off. He said, the truth will come out and we will see.
It was.
Woo!
Listen, I hope that we all find out, and I do have to jump down after this. However, I do want to say that I truly do hope that we get to see this.
Yeah, we don't, just so everybody in the chat is aware, this is why it's so important to be factual. And this is why we're just talking about all the rumors that started early on in this case. There were so many rumors and misconceptions. None of this is factual. Most of this has been debunked already, but this is stuff that continues to get stirred up and interlaid with all of this stuff. And they continue to run with it. The searching of this, the doing of that, like constantly. It's just out of control.
Come to a conclusion. Sebastian's found safely. All the good things come from this. And the storyline is, maybe he did run away or whatever it may end up being. I do not think that's the case.
Yo, Joey, today's Fuck Off Friday. Welcome in. Fuck the fuck off. I'm not going to be the channel for you. I am doing my own content. This is called commentary. This is called exploiting the exploiters, if you want to call it that. I'm reviewing the shit she put out here publicly. That's called fair use. If you don't like it, see your way out. It's a quick little exit button. These people are doing actual harm in active cases of a missing child and exploiting it for clicks and views, meanwhile spreading nonstop rumors and speculation that could be harmful and impact whatever the outcome of this case will be. They have already impacted this family that will forever be a part of their lives.
Preface that first, but anyway, because I think they would have found him and there would be evidence of him around, but that's just me. But I hope that one day that we can come back and say that they had nothing to do with this. I truly do want that more than anything in this world, because I want Sebastian to be safe and sound, just like everybody else does, or we wouldn't all be here today. So yes, I hope that we're able to say that. I think that we all also have been here long enough and been around these things long enough to understand that that's not usually how things end up going. Unfortunately, sadly enough, we see these things take a different turn. And I'm afraid that
that's not always true either. Again, I take you back to Alicia Navarro, 4 years later, completely disappeared. 4 years later, randomly walks into a police department trying to get an ID.
that's where we're headed down this path. I do feel like that there's a lot of people upset with TBI. There's a lot of people upset with them just from the Summer Wells case, because they feel like it's been, it's been way too long too. So a day is way too long. However, I do want to say that TBI does have a lot of success too. And I feel like that if you are willing, if you can stand up and say that you don't think TBI is doing enough work, or you don't think they're doing their jobs, or whatever it is that you want to say about TBI, but then you can turn right around and say that Chris and Katie Proudfoot, that you think that they have nothing to do with this. I think that's totally two separate conversations that you're having. And I think it's really reckless and crazy that you would say those two things in the same sentence, because I can't come to a conclusion. All I can do is go with what we're shown and what we see. And what I see is deception from the Proudfoots. So that's just how it feels to me. I feel like they're not telling the complete truth, and they're hiding something from people, whether they're doing it maliciously or whatever they're trying to do. They're hiding something, and that's just how I feel about it. And that's it.
The willful ignorance of targeting Chris and Katie, meanwhile overlooking inconsistencies on the other side, is ridiculous. Again, we are in the camp that the parents had nothing to do with it, and they are all innocent until proven guilty of anything. Right now, we have no anything to tell us that any of the parents were involved in Sebastian going missing.
So,
and I have to apologize to my friends in Tennessee, because I did say some things out of frustration about the TBI. And I said some things on another show about, cases have been solved without a body. That was so ignorant of me. Let me say why. I brought up the West boys. Well, they had a child inside the house that confirmed that they were gone. I brought up Cody Bixby. Well, there was a child in the house that confirmed what happened to Cody. I brought up Harmony Montgomery. Again, ignorance, me just talking out my ass. They have Kayla Montgomery, stepmeth, that confirmed what happened to Harmony. Joe Clyde Daniels, there was a confession. A lot of people have come to me and they're like, well, what about Holly Bobo? They pretty much had it dead to nuts, but they didn't have her. Tennessee Bureau investigation didn't have her. Once she was found, the floodgates were open and they got their charges.
Sure. Well, and I think it's fair to be that way, though, Brooks. I think that's fair. You know what I mean? I think it's fair to be frustrated. I do. I truly, and I get it. You know what I mean? Truly, I do. I don't think that anybody should not be upset or questioning or anything like that either. I completely understand it. But at the same time, when we, certain things we say, because I'm frustrated, like, no, we had nothing on Summer. Trust me, guys. I'm the most frustrated too. I get it.
You were talking about Sebastian. Stop mixing Summer's case in with it.
And I think that we all deserve to know something, because, again, I live in this town. So I want to know if I have people running around, if we've got people running around snatching children off the street. I want to know that more than anybody in this world.
Don't you think that if that was a concern, the TBI or the local departments would come out and say that that's a concern of theirs? You think they're just going to willfully not say anything if there's a safety concern to the public?
And I deserve to know that as a citizen here.
Wow.
So I get the upsetness and I get all that too. And I've just tried to sometimes go back and say, maybe there's a reason that we don't know things. And if they're keeping things that secret, there's a reason why.
Exactly.
And maybe it's waiting for somebody to completely screw up. So
Well, it's really shitty, though, to throw shit at the people doing all the work. I'm not doing the work. I'm not an investigator. I think about what
At least she admits to that. I'll give her that.
Lieutenant Joe Kenda said one time.
This isn't a fucking TV show. Yes, he was a real detective. I get that. But what she's talking about, she obviously heard from his reality TV shows.
He said, we want people out putting up flyers because we want the suspects on alert. And it keeps the public busy. True story.
Sure.
He also said the crime scene is the body, not so much where it happened. The crime scene is the body. So think about it. It's hard for me to wrap my mind around. The body tells everything. Now, I am not saying Sebastian is dead. But I do want to tell you guys that someone has solved the case. Muscles, are you ready for this?
yes.
Daisy said, that's why I put out Katie's statement today. There is always two sides. I truly believe Sebastian just wandered off. And yes, Summerwell's case was much worse.
Brittney, totally different person. I saw that. Totally different person. Chill. You're on hyper alert.
Summer's case is still ongoing. And what proof does Daisy have that Sebastian just wandered off? Trevor, are you there? Because see, right now, Jennifer Coffindaffer is in the long running for Idiot of the Week.
I have to agree with her on that one. I will be talking about her coming up too. I've just been sharpening my brain cells for that one a little bit more because it's so disappointing to see what she's doing. Trevor's pretty silent on this one.
People have some wild thoughts on the case.
I just don't even know. I mean, you can think all you want, but no child is going to get out of their house and not come back home.
What? What ignorance is that? No child is going to get out of their house and not come back home. How many runaways do we have? How many missing children do we have that there's no answer to?
You would have to be super duper pissed and super, super prepared to go wander off in the woods to live on your own. And
why is that even what? So you really want to put this out here that you think he's just like in the wilderness now, like camping and living off the
talking about a very nice neighborhood with Ring cameras. These are $500,000 plus houses. Somebody,
y'all, I'm so sick of everybody saying that's such a nice neighborhood and acting like it's so out of touch. First of all, that area of Tennessee, the cost of housing is higher. They have a beautiful home. A lot of places in the country, I don't know if it's just people, like it seems so out of reality. A $500,000 house here is like low income in Arizona. That is not anything shocking that their house is worth. Like, I just can't even understand how that correlates in this whole thing. It's a nice neighborhood. It's a nice home. So what? Okay, move on. Who cares?
Around there has a camera. I still don't believe he took the trash out. I have big questions. Did he even make it home from the restaurant that night?
We will be discussing this extensively throughout this one, so buckle up because this is where we're headed.
What do you think, Trev?
I don't know, honestly. I do think he came home, but I don't know. I think whatever took place was in that window during the night, that time window, but it's just hard to say what it was because nothing really adds up. I mean, I truly believed he walked off, but how does one walk away with no scent trail?
Easy. Borrow a pair of shoes from your buddy at school. Borrow a pair of shoes from somebody that you had a plan to pick you up. These are all hypotheticals. Absolutely no information. You know, they also have those like socks that go over your shoes too. Who's to say that he had, again, like there's so many explanations that could be, but nope, people just overlook all of that. Anybody in here a nurse or an OR tech or anything and have to wear the booties over your shoes? Anybody know what I'm talking about?
No scent trail. I know a lot of people bring up Hardly Dilly. Well, there was a scent trail.
There could be 1,000,001 explanations for not having a trail.
But he was found in, I'm just going to nicely say it, in someone's house.
Oh, good.
He wasn't kidnapped, anything like that. It was a horrible case. He had problems at home as well. But there was a scent trail.
Having no scent trail doesn't mean anything. There's so many explanations that would be logical for that, in my opinion.
But it dropped off. My understanding of Sebastian is there's none.
That doesn't mean anything.
You and I spoke about this about a month ago because you could see me tagging you and stuff when people were talking about Sebastian. I'm like, I'm watching it on Trevor. I'm watching on Trevor. I'm watching on Trevor. And I said to you, because I wasn't about to just jump out with, something I don't know. I said, with no scent and no sign of him anywhere, do you think something foul could be in the air? Kids that run away, there's a scent.
Not always. No. Like, this is the most ignorant shit I've ever heard. No, it's not. And you've been doing this for a long time. You went into the long case. You did Gabby Petito. You did Summer Wells. You've done all of the cases and exploited them to the extreme, in my opinion, over the last few years. So you should be able to rationalize that there is other things that do happen. Not every case is the same.
There's communication.
This is beyond.
He knows his father's phone number by heart.
And again, if he ran and we're thinking none of them had anything to do with it and he just took off, why would he call him? Oh, because you guys have this perception of Seth that you've been painting in your heads that he is this perfect, amazing, doting father. Could be true. But if he wanted to get away, he obviously wanted to get away from all of them. So again, no communication would be common. Oh, this pisses me off.
It just doesn't add up.
Now, let me ask you this. Why would Katie call Chris Proudfoot in Memphis when she is in Hendersonville, outside of Nashville, instead of calling someone closer to help her search? She might as well have called her daddy in Virginia.
You know what? If one of my girls was to go missing, the first call would be to Kyle, because I'd be like, hey, can you come home? One of the girls, I instantaneously thinking that I'm just misplaced them. They're in the park, something like that. Like, simple. Of course, I'm going to call my partner, my spouse, the person you rely on. That's typical. I think most of us would do the same. That's why you have a partner. That's typical. Nothing weird about that. Because I'm sure she wasn't thinking that he was actually missing like this. You go through the motions. First phone call. Hey, he's not here. Starting to panic. Things get increased. Of course, she's going to call her spouse.
Because seconds count when you're looking for a child, whatever age they are.
It takes minutes, sometimes hours, to even realize the gravity of the situation. That's the way these things work.
Yeah. That's a great question.
No.
And she was supposed to be at work the next morning. Who stays on the phone for 3 hours with someone who they can't freaking stand anyway?
We don't know that they can't stand each other. And it's very common for people who work out of town or work construction jobs that are not home to have a routine where they can participate in family stuff on FaceTime, whatever it is. I've been there, done that. I enjoy my partner. Maybe I'm one of the only ones that likes my partner. I talk on the phone to him all the day long. We text all day long on his way home every day. Love you, babe. Anything you need on my way home? Every single day. These are not weird. That's a healthy relationship.
And when he said it's exactly 3 hours and 37 minutes.
And on the other coin too, I'll say this. It could be a control thing. It could be all of these things. We don't know. But if we're just going off of face value, there's nothing weird about a 3-hour call with your spouse. Nothing weird.
And the phone was outside of Memphis. How do we know he didn't have another phone? I don't know. Something is not adding up.
Thank God that's not up for you to need to know, because law enforcement is investigating it.
But of course, that's just pure speculation.
Yeah.
I am thankful for the federal law enforcement involvement. I think they'll get to the bottom of any sort of anything digitally. they'll find out. I know it takes time for some records to come back, but between the FBI and the Secret Service, they'll dig up anything relevant in those phone records or evidence or digital evidence.
That's real.
Well, it took a very long time in the Murdaugh case and the Morphew case to pick up the traction from the phone. You see, like my phone is sitting right next to me, to my left, next to the laptop right now. However, if I am on the phone, let's say with you, Trev, and I'm walking around the house, they can tell my movements around the house, but it takes a really long time. I don't know why, not my job.
Yeah, and they do triangulation. So what they do is they pin it off the towers, or ping it, off the towers. So it's like the multiple towers around, and they triangulate it, and that's how you find out also where someone is. I mean, you can tell the general area by which towers it's hitting off of, but then you can triangulate it and you can really see where someone is.
Okay, now I'm going to do a segment I call Trev's Reaction.
Look at what she's doing. Meanwhile, talking about Sebastian's story. Meanwhile, talking about Sebastian being missing and Trevor's on panel. You're about to see where she's head to head with this.
I'm going to play this straight through, and I want to see what you think of it.
Hey, thank you guys. I do hope they find Summer. I know this is heartbreaking to see another child out there searching, and y'all still ain't got answers. It's going on 3 years. And I know it's heartbreaking to see all this stuff again. And I feel like the TBI is just repeating. Candace said, well, when they barely search and then get drunk and pretend nothing mattered.
Candace has become quite the missing child advocate. She spoke out about Crystal Sorey in the Harmon Montgomery case. She said she doesn't trust Brandy Neal. Now she's talking about Katie Proudfoot. She said, well, when they can burly search and then get drunk and pretend like nothing matters, then she said, I don't trust her. Trevor, what do you think of this?
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know all the context of what they were talking about, but if she's talking about Katie Proudfoot, I don't know.
Thank you, Trevor, for saying and pointing out, I don't know all the context here. Talk about awkward to do to him. Meanwhile, talking about Sebastian's case, I'm assuming that's what he thought he was going up there to talk about, and then she does this.
What do you think?
Yeah, that's what they were talking about. She is quite the missing child's advocate suddenly. She's saying that Katie burly searched and then got drunk. Does anyone in here, because I hate to say it, I laughed a little too hard at this.
What exactly is funny with two moms that have missing children? What exactly is laughable in this situation? Anybody enlighten me?
I about pissed and fell in a puddle. Because her, of all people, cannot judge another family. I mean, burly. This woman has spent more time at the coin pusher machine than she has looking for Summer Wells. Nothing about the disappearance of Summer or Sebastian is funny at all.
But you were just laughing and pissing down your leg, right? At the mother of a missing child. I don't care what your personal feelings are on them. They're not in jail. Their child's still missing.
But this, from our can't, is something else. Burly.
I get that. Libby, I get it. I don't care. There was no need for this. There was no need for interjecting that into this. None at all. They're two separate cases, two separate families. I get what you're saying.
What to do? I will probably be like 86 years old, burly, 86 and a half, burly, and I'm still going to remember that. You've got to be kidding me. Sarah said, add that to the true crime dictionary. That's our Candace. She never lets us down. All right, let's get back to the vigil.
We appreciate it. But if you're out there just making money, stay away.
But throughout the investigation,
Oh, she's finally going to play the rest of it, but you notice silence.
strangers have become allies. Since the beginning of the search, Mary Strom and her son Jaden took a special interest and organized Saturday's prayer vigil.
By the fourth day, I really started to get involved. I went out searching on the fourth and fifth day, and ever since then, I've just been pretty vigilant with helping however I can.
This is a young gentleman that they falsely accused of pulling a pew-pew out that didn't happen.
In addition to searching alongside Sebastian's father, the two also continue to provide flyers to the community to help raise awareness.
I have children of my own, and it's hard to not see their faces when you look at his. And I think it's hard for every mom and dad here.
Saturday, they ended Sebastian's prayer vigil with handwritten messages to Sebastian, ones they plan to share with him upon his return.
We can't let this case get cold. It cannot get cold, and we will find him. And the more vigils and the more news presence and media coverage that we get, the more his face keeps out there. Maybe somebody will see something and they'll say something, and we'll get Sebastian home.
Now, tonight's event was held at the Rudder Restaurant in Hendersonville. Strom and her son will leave flyers there for anyone who would like to help distribute them. If you have any information on this case or Sebastian's whereabouts, you're asked to call the Sumner County Sheriff's Office or the TBI right away.
He's somewhere, but where? Trevor, what about Sebastian got your attention for you to jump in the way you have? Because you have had amazing coverage of this case.
Well, just like I've told people, I in my years in childcare, I've worked with multiple kids on the autism spectrum, kids around Sebastian's age, and I see a lot of them in Sebastian, and I know every child on the spectrum is different. Every child in general is different, but I see those similarities in the kind of kid Sebastian is, and truthfully,
yeah, he sounds so uncomfortable up there.
When he first disappeared, I thought he just wandered off, and it was a matter of every minute getting the word out so somebody can see him, because every minute that passes is another chance of him to fall into a hole or get hurt or stumble upon an animal or something. And so wanted to get the word out quickly. Then as it progressed, here we are 43 days in. Never did I think we would be.
I thought he would be found fast. The way I came across his case is I saw it on your personal Facebook. And I just really thought that he had wandered off, because in my ignorance, I have always heard that children that are autistic are drawn to water. So I just thought he's got to be around the water somewhere. There was a case in Oklahoma, and you really...
This is, at least she admits her ignorance. I'm losing anything to even, what the hell are these people doing?
Can't compare cases, and you certainly can't compare children. So my apologies.
Meanwhile, that's what you've been doing the entire fucking time. The irony of that. Speaking of comparing cases, let's switch gears here for a moment. Actually, you can listen to this one more second while I pull this.
In advance. 2-year-old little boy went out the back door. Him 8 hours later, and he had drowned. I didn't want that for Sebastian, but I thought, as much as he likes to fish and swim and everything, but then I saw it's the middle of the night. That didn't make any sense. Then I heard there's no scent and nothing.
And then she got stuck on stupid when she heard there was no scent, because kids, they always leave a scent. Runaways always leave a scent. All right, now we are headed over to 1111 True Crime. There is so much to dissect with that crime, lies, and bullshittery group, whatever the hell. We have a lot to dissect. But since I've got so much to push into this one today, now we are going to head over here. Buckle up, friends, because this one is going to be about probably the most infuriating that you have felt in a while. In the beginning of this, I am going to have it muted because she plays this really obnoxious sound through this, but we can read it together and watch as it goes. And then we will be dissecting some of this. Sebastian Rogers, no trace. No phone before bed. No electronics before bed. Ma'am, that's common. My kids don't even have phones, and they don't have electronics in bed. Or this is 1111 True Crime. What? Nothing wrong there. No snacks before bed. No proof who removed the trash. No shower before bed. I mean, who showers in the morning? Couldn't happen. Kids could never shower, or they could not skip it. No change of clothes before bed. Meanwhile, we know that's not true because Seth actually leaked that information on Pascal's of what he saw Sebastian wearing when he was leaving Texas Roadhouse in the Proof of Life video. No checkup after thud. We know that she said something. No shoes. We don't know that as a fact. We know that he left there with no shoes or none of his shoes, according to what law enforcement was told by Katie, I'm assuming. No coat. No food. No water. No money. No phone. No. The dramatics, I swear to freaking God. No items missing from home. No noise. No home security system. The bullshit. Some people are so old school that they won't have Ring cameras and cameras in their houses because they believe that they can be tapped into and people can spy on them. That's a belief of a lot of people, so they won't have security systems. It's true. No outdoor lights on? That's interesting. We're going to discuss some of that today. This one. Here you can hear what warning. That's the music behind it. That's why I'm like, no. No eyewitness. No Ring camera footage. No scent trail. No footprints. What in the absolute hell? No proof of life after Texas Roadhouse. We're going to talk about that. Yes. Yes, what? Yes, what? Yes, we will find Sebastian Rogers.
They'll find Sebastian Rogers because we are Sebastian strong. So I am not clickbait. I don't do clickbait.
Meanwhile, the title of this video is Sebastian Rogers, items found, leads investigators back to Proudfoot's home. Items found. Okay.
I got this from the interview with Seth Rogers, and I've got the clip of it.
Okay, ma'am. Clickbait. Chapped, thank you so much for the gifted memberships. Welcome to the cabana. And Mike, thank you so much once again. Appreciate you guys. Oh, there's another something over here too. Natalie, thank you for becoming a member also. Thank you guys. Sorry I didn't catch those.
But allegedly, items have been found. Now, they have not done a legal presser, but it is coming down the pipe from very, very important sources to Seth Rogers.
Important sources, but she's not clickbait, ladies and gentlemen.
And I'm going to let him tell you where and all that kind of stuff in the clip that I got. I want to say hello. Welcome to 1111 True Crime. I've been behind the scenes here.
And once again, this is all under fair use. This is based on the bullshit that they put out here publicly. This is for commentary. This all falls under fair use. This is for educational and entertainment purposes only, to correct some of the misinformation and the bullshit that these people continue to do in their exploitation of missing children's cases. If you don't like it here and you don't like the fact that I say what I have to say about people exploiting these cases, this won't be the channel for you. The rest of you, buckle up, say what you need to say. Please feel free to speak freely in the comments. We will be discussing some things about this case and the misinformation throughout this one, because she does a lot of heavy push of misinformation.
You're grabbing what the heck clips, some very, very important stuff that we need to go over. Now, real quick, I want to hit this up. we have some very silent behind the scenes movement going on in Sebastian Rogers' case. Number one, I want to bring up the fact that no one can say that they have seen the prophets come out of that camper in over a week. Are they in the camper? Or did they set that up as a distraction? Because we've all played the Brian Laundrie game and it sucked. So I want to get that out of the way. But let's jump over. I want to say hello to everybody. I obviously cannot.
By the way, mods, that is not me or anybody related to me. Will you guys grab the link of that account, that nonsense account, and one of you keep it so we have it to track that account that's cloning my name? Please and thank you. That would be wonderful.
Say hello individually to everybody. I want to say thank you, Honeybee64, for gifting memberships. That is so very kind of you. Thank you for inviting Kimberly, Robin York, Tina, Grammy Q, and Deborah Lynn all into Starlights. Thank you guys. And now you'll have access to our All-Star panel. Let me get caught up real quick. Hey, Tickety Boo. Hello to Interior Studios and all our beautiful mods. And let's roll. Let's get on to our
Thank you, Revival.
fair use and get into this because I want to get this on the surface for you guys. Fair use disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act. 1976 allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism,
Thank you,
comment,
Pika.
news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Boom. Done. Get ready, you guys. Listen to this. Now, keep in mind, all of a sudden, Chris Proudfoot doesn't want to do a polygraph because allegedly TBI is now going to do one, right? He won't do interviews with anybody more. He shut his mouth. We haven't seen hide nor hair of them come out of that camper in a week, right? And I'm about to walk you through this stuff. So first, we're going to hear about items being found.
Thank you for reminding me about Dolly. That reminds me, Chris from Pittsburgh. Unsupervised Maniacs did a video of Dolly. Huge trigger warning if you watch it, but she posted it last night. Just an FYI.
Then we're going to hear where the items were allegedly found. Then we're going to be talking about what kind of things are going on behind the scenes a little bit, such as when were the FBI there, who all was there, how many vehicles, what was going on, who did they talk to, all that in this video. So let's start off with this. This is about the items allegedly found. Now again, we do not have a presser. Everything is shared is alleged.
We do not have a presser. Listen to this BS that she's about to say.
This comes right from Seth, and Pascal had heard it as well. And then I have two other unnamed sources at this time that have confirmed they also have heard this as well. So I am not saying this is guaranteed. I'm saying this is what everybody's hearing behind the scenes.
But and I'm still curious.
All right, my sleuthy friends in the chat, pay attention because I'm about to blow your minds. Probably not. Actually, I'm sure some of you guys have thought about this, but something I'm going to point out here. Again, I'm going to preface this by saying there is no indication that any of the parents have anything to do with any of the disappearance of Sebastian at this point in time. If we are following the facts of the case, law enforcement has stated that they are cooperating and they are working through all of the process. Okay. But I have stated time and time again, it is important if you are going to criticize and critique and villainize Chris and Katie, but lift Seth up on a pedestal, that you don't overlook some of the things. She is going to give us a great example of that.
As to like how this has been, right? How things have been this weekend. Because I understand that there was some police activity in a particular area. I guess some items were found. Did that have anything to do with that?
I don't know.
With the
They didn't
case?
call on that end.
Right there, Pascal is telling you that he has also heard items have been found He's asking, did that have anything to do with Sebastian's case? So I'm not the only one that heard the items got found. Now let's continue. Now,
for anybody coming in, this is a channel called 1111 True Crime. I don't know if she used to have a different name or something. If anybody in the chat knows anything, this is new to me until this case, but she is exceptionally ignorant, to say the very least.
this builds up to where we are today because things are getting hot and heavy. And I think with us being moved into allegedly a criminal investigation.
That is not true. We already know that. That was corrected by law enforcement. Or not corrected by law enforcement. It was corrected by the district attorney doing an interview after the rumors started spreading like wildfire all over the internet that this was moved to a criminal investigation because they took a clip from back in March that was on a news broadcast. Then the news station came out, it's probably like 36 hours ago now, and corrected that, saying that there's not a criminal investigation. And then they did a follow-up interview. We discussed that. I posted on the community tab. I did state wrong, incorrectly words, but I pinned a comment. So if you watch that video, just look for that pinned comment. You'll see where I screwed up.
That the Proud Beats might be on the hot seat, but we'll see. We'll see. Here we go.
They didn't call and tell me.
Okay, again, sleuthy friends, pay attention to the wording of this.
Some items found. I think it was behind the Texas Roadhouse, actually.
Seth is saying that they did not call and tell him this, but he has heard that items were found behind the Texas Roadhouse. He has heard this. Pascal has heard that items have been found. I've heard that items have been found. There is no proof because we don't have the presser yet. But I'm going to rewind this. I want you to listen closely at this conversation. Taking it from the start because we have a lot of people jumping in. Okay.
But and I'm still curious as to like how this has been, right? How things have been this weekend, because I understand that there was some police activity in a particular area. I guess some items were found. Did that have anything to do with that?
I don't know.
With the
They
case?
didn't call and they didn't call and tell me. There were some items found. I think it was behind the Texas Roadhouse, actually.
Oh, really?
So again, this is coming from Seth, not from law enforcement.
I think that's what they were saying. I don't.
Yeah.
Nobody ever called me about it. Sumner County didn't call me. TBI didn't call me to come and ask me to verify or anything of that sort.
Man. Okay. Well, I just, I wish that there was more.
This was an interview from night before last, you guys. So if it's old news to you, that's fine. If you've already seen somebody put it in the chat, you don't need to keep hammering in. It isn't old news if we have not heard the full story. Now, why would it be that we get flashlight footage, but it's really a garbage truck? We get a dog hit, but there's nothing to it. We get that there's some information of items being found behind Texas Roadhouse, but it's not evidence. But yet it's a criminal investigation. Okay? So you can choose to believe how you would like. I'm not here to convince you. I'm here to do my show of what I am curious about, because what are these items? They may tell us they're socks. They may tell us they're something. That doesn't mean that's exactly what it is. We could be being told a completely different narrative by law enforcement, just like the other individuals, such as Katie and Chris, may also be being told different information. Now, why would this go into a criminal investigation if no items are found?
It's not. That's been confirmed. This was yesterday's video that she did.
So you choose to believe what you'd like, but if you're rude, my mods will block you. And I don't mean time you out. If you're rude, you're gone. We're not here for clicks and views. So if you want to get rough, we'll just kind of move you to the door. Now,
if you want to get rough, they're not there for the clicks and views anyways, but just wait.
If you want to state your opinion and say old news and stuff, that's great. That's great. Because at least that's your opinion. But if you get rude, if you get ugly, we do not tolerate it. Now, you may bet yourself as much as you like, but it cannot be in a negative, rude way. Now, let's continue. There's a lot to cover. This is only one small part.
Let's continue with your crazy theories. Let's go.
Of everything I have, and we're going to roll with this.
Here we go.
You can choose to continue with me and learn the other information, which we're going to be going into a lot, such as Katie's expertise in the Navy.
Oh.
Whoa. Now, that's a huge boom, and that can tell us a lot.
Oh. Really?
All right, let's go.
Wonder where we're headed.
Remember, this is a criminal investigation. So
factually, that is incorrect. It is not a criminal investigation. That has been corrected by the district attorney.
Found something, and you and I don't know if they found something or not, but it's being rumored that there are items that are being found. And this was just an interview night before last with Seth. I have the timestamp, and I've got the link pinned.
You definitely need tinfoil hats for this.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Some more information here. Obviously, I know I'm speaking to the choir, but it is a bit frustrating when you hear about TBI or law enforcement not really being that transparent. They're not keeping that line of communication with you open. I mean, are they deliberately dodging or ignoring your calls?
Don't know.
Wow.
See, Pascal's asking the same thing I am. When law enforcement is not necessarily being transparent because they're protecting the case, you and I don't know.
We will get into a further discussion, maybe even later tonight, about what Seth said yesterday that T-Rev, my favorite little punk himself, repeated, and then what Seth said as himself on Crime Lies and Bullshittery today in another segment. We have so much to get through. It's unbelievable.
We don't know. But if it's gone into a criminal investigation, then there is something that got found, because it doesn't just slip into a criminal investigation unless there's something to support that legally. And that means something was found. Now, Seth said this 2 days ago, and it could have been, how do you want to put it, dispersed among the public and quieted down real quickly because it could be important. But you choose to believe how you like. I'm here to share the information that I have found out. Now, this was interesting as well. And you may have seen this program, but I'm going to show you a couple different programs. And this is, I believe, a second clip to the Pascal show. Hats off to you, sir.
Oh,
excellent job.
Here we go.
Now, this is all about what a lot of you have been asking. And it got to Pascal, and he shared it with Seth, and Seth sent it that moment to the TBI as well as Sheriff's Department. And that is about the clothing, right? We've all wondered, like, if this child came home from the restaurant, where are the clothes that Sebastian was wearing at his last supper, right? So here you go. Here's the answer. I found this very good because this means that it might be the one thing that TBI hadn't thought of. We don't know.
Oh.
But I think it's really good that this went this way. And again, hats off to Pascal.
Hey, has anybody asked them the Proudfoots to produce the actual clothing that Sebastian was last seen wearing when he left Texas Roadhouse. If they're able to produce that clothing, then okay, they're in the clear. But if they aren't able to produce that clothing, well, then there you go. Bob's your uncle.
That would mean nothing. I mean, again, we've pointed this out many. Yeah. Okay.
There may be some foul play there. Have they looked into that at all, Seth?
I have no idea. But I tell you what, I can really sit here and go, I was wondering if you do and locate the clothes he
This is rocket science at work.
Are you literally texting someone right now as we speak?
Do you hear the wheels turning?
I am texting them right now as we speak.
Who are you texting? The Proud Feets?
No. I am texting TBI and Sumner County Sheriff's.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go.
Yeah, let's
All right,
go.
Seth.
Let's go. Let's go. Come on.
All right. That was cute. That was cute of Pascal waving him on. But yeah, we do not know what was found to bring it into a criminal investigation. Now, you guys, listen to this.
Listen to this, friends. And again, it's not a criminal investigation. This is how misinformation continues to spread.
I believe it is. Let me make sure I got the right clip. Yes. Listen to this, you guys.
Here we go.
So, this happens to be Justin on TikTok is the name of his channel on YouTube, and he also has TikTok. All right. He is a lot of the times boots on the ground with Seth or whatever you want to call it. He's just a hard worker. He's out there. Support his channel any way you can. Excellent, excellent person.
Excellent exploiter of tragedies with pushing misinformation, because he was one of the ones that was pushing this black SUVs and the FBI being in the neighborhood and everything was shutting down. You know, he had to get his TikToks out there. And of course, he's bringing everything to every platform he can. It's all about the money.
And he's going to share with you very big information if you haven't seen this. Now, I'm not here to say I'm the only one broadcasting information on Sebastian. And Lord, I hope I'm not. I hope everyone is.
How disconnected.
Please, right? I'm here to bring you more information and get his name out there. My thoughts are going to come after all these clips as to the new information that I've thought of. But again, it's all speculation. It's alleged. It's thoughts. It's questions, things that you guys have mentioned. But listen to this big bomb. And I'm just saying, listen to this.
This is a big one.
Big update for you in regard to Sebastian Rogers. And trust me, hit that follow button because you're going to want to stay updated for this. So let's start small and work up to the really big stuff. Now, officially, this is being called a criminal investigation. Now, that was released by News Channel 5, meaning that there has to be enough evidence there for them to be able to call it a criminal investigation. The next two things I think are...
We know that that's not factually correct. That is misinformation. We have already talked about that.
Really important to share with you are the fact that Seth...
Okay. It is literally Channel 5 and a bunch of other programs, as well as this TikToker, Justin, who knows the case intimately. He's been boots on the ground, real guy, is telling you it's a true criminal investigation. So all the trolls that want to come in here and be like, they didn't find nothing, damn sure musta. Damn sure musta. And maybe it doesn't have to do with the items found behind the restaurant. Maybe it doesn't, but maybe it does. Either way, you won't know and I won't know. And that's what I'm asking. Now, there's much more to come. Not only is it a criminal investigation, which I'm going to replay that little 20-second part, but listen to what comes next. Here you go.
Big update for you in regard to Sebastian Rogers. And trust me, hit that follow button because you're going to want to stay updated for this. So let's start small and work up to the really big stuff. Now, officially, this is being called a criminal investigation. Now, that was released by News Channel 5, meaning that there has to be enough evidence there for them to be able to call it a criminal investigation. The next two things I think are really important to share with you are the fact that Seth
You guys are saying my volume is really low, but it's showing really high on my.
Guess what? That means they found something that backs up that legally. So let me tell you this. It may not have been an item, but they found something. But how do we know that it wasn't the items found behind the restaurant? We don't know, because law enforcement is keeping everything very tight to the vest, and they're going to try to play down any fires in the media right now while they do their work, which I get. But the lack of transparency, well, it's not working, because we are finding out that allegedly items were found. Okay? And it was behind the restaurant that Sebastian ate at. Now, we also see lights that allegedly are not flashlights, but a dump truck.
Pay attention to what she's going to talk about with this light situation. It's going to be mind-blowing, people.
Are we buying that? I don't know. We're being told that's nothing. We're being told that the dog hits are nothing. We're being told a lot, like, there's nothing to see here, nothing to see here. But listen to what's really going on behind the scenes. I'm going to play it one more time.
Oh, yeah. Sure, why not?
Big update for you in regard to Sebastian Rogers. And trust me, hit that follow button because you're...
Why don't we just keep putting out misinformation?
So that's another question and another rabbit hole we could go down. But isn't that interesting to think about the quinky dink? That we're all about, oh, Chris said TBI is going to be giving me my own one, they said. They'll give me directly, and I'm not supposed to talk to nobody till then. Oh, you got awful quiet. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have a criminal investigation.
No, we don't. No, we don't. Nope, we don't.
Is it because allegedly Chris won't take a poly? Because you can demand a polygraph if you want one. Here we go.
So now here's where it gets really, really big. Apparently on Sunday night, law enforcement in unmarked SUVs showed up at the Proudfoot's house, did some type of a search, talked to some of the neighbors, and left. But they are back there tonight. And
we already know that that was disproven in real time. Spanky and his misfits did that in real time because they were starting to put that out there too. People were coming in and blaming him for it. They had a local go drive by and check, and there was nothing going on.
At the same time, while they're searching tonight, there also are apparently a ton of black SUVs parked out front of the command center.
So Sunday night they showed up, which Ellie usually doesn't work on the weekends. Why would they show up on Sunday? Because Sunday night.
Fucking law enforcement doesn't work on the weekends? Where? What? Law enforcement doesn't work on the weekends? I'm sure they would like to know that.
Was the last night Sebastian was known to be in the home. So they showed up. FBI and all these, TBI or whatever, show up, bunch of black SUVs on Sunday night, this past Sunday, stayed through, whatever, talked to all kinds of neighbors on Monday.
They spent the night.
Okay.
That's not factually true.
They also allegedly reenacted whatever that means. Investigation. Now we can ask, is luminol being used? Right? Because without a criminal investigation, unless a parent's like, can you use luminol? I doubt they're going to do that, because before they're looking for a kid. Where's the kid? Where's the kid? Now it's criminal. They're looking for a crime evidence scenario. Completely different thing. So this is definitely... Oh, am I too loud now that you guys are like, you're screaming? What's the problem? All right, let me lower it. I'll try.
By the way, to the cloned nonsense account, if there's any creators in here and you see that account running around, it's not me, just so you guys are aware. They changed their avatar to me. I just followed their channel too. So I am one of the subscribers on their channel because I'll be watching what they do.
I don't know, you guys. I can't please you all. I love you. I love you all. You have a You have a volume button though on yours, up or down. Okay. All right. Let's stay focused on Sebastian.
Oh, yeah.
Now, obviously, at this point, nothing has been disclosed as to what they found to call it a criminal investigation, what's brought them back to the Proudfoot's house twice, but I will be keeping you updated, so you definitely want to hit the follow button for this.
Like Justin is saying, we don't know yet what was found that brought them to this investigation.
Yay, revival.
You know, if they had just showed up the house on Sunday night and then done their interviews on Monday, I wouldn't have thought much about it. But it's pivotal because it got turned into a criminal investigation.
Ma'am, please just delete this whole video. This absolutely is fucking misinformation. Complete, utter misinformation.
And then they went to the home. And it's like, what? Or was a criminal investigate? Well, it would have to have been before, I believe. That way the people that can't hear can hear me, and the people that, you feel me.
What is happening?
Now, we've all talked about, and we've all wondered, was there video footage? Well, Ellie has that footage of the garbage dump where the trash gets taken to the curb. And Seth, the real dad, saw that footage. Let's listen to his reply.
We truly do not know what's going on.
Listen to this closely.
Unfortunately, haven't found any video proof of him since Texas Roadhouse. The video that they showed me of him taking the trash out.
Yeah.
You can't see.
You can't see. Okay. The video that law enforcement showed him of him, Sebastian, taking the trash out, he claims you can't see.
Can you explain what you actually saw in that footage then of him taking out?
Before we get into this, I'm going to address this real quick because it's a good point. Someone asked for the receipts that FBI was in the home. I'm not giving you receipts. I'm telling you there is no legal presser. Everything I'm sharing today is basically what I have collected as information.
Y'all chill out in the chat, please. People are entitled to opinions. Different. I don't know what's going on. I haven't seen any comments, so I just am seeing some that are like arguing over opinions. As long as they're respectful and not blaming anybody specifically, please. I don't even know.
In my humble opinion, it's all alleged. It's all speculation. If you're looking for fact, turn the channel and go wait for the presser. Just get off YouTube and go wait for the presser. However, this is how I work around here. This is how we roll. And I'm about to roll this beautiful beam footage. Now, you're either with us and working towards getting Sebastian's name out there, or you're a troll. And in that event, we'll spot you and you'll be removed.
So if you're against spreading misinformation, you're a troll instantly. Okay.
We're not about clicks and views. And if you're disruptive, you're gone. We don't mess around here.
Ma'am.
I love you guys that stay with me, though, because y'all are amazing. Here we go.
She got 48,000 views on this video.
The trash?
Last night.
Allegedly?
You see a flashlight?
You see a flashlight.
And
that's it.
And that's it.
That's it.
Hey, what time was that at again?
You see a shadow.
You can see a shadow.
There, I didn't see a time leak on there because it was a ring cam.
Well.
Okay.
Seth just told us a whole bunch. And that is that when the garbage was taken out, it was too dark to see anything but a flashlight and a shadow. And you're like, how does that tell us anything? You can't tell who it is. It tells us there were no lights on outside.
Ma'am, I know it's probably hard to get like factual information in your head, but in order to have a shadow, you have to have light. You have to have significant enough light to have a shadow. And a flashlight, if he can tell it's a flashlight, an actual flashlight, then there's obviously light enough for them to decipher that it's a flashlight versus a light on a phone.
Even though Chris Proudfoot says they're always on. That was the one night they were truly off because whoever took that garbage out, they were filmed. TBI showed the footage to Seth, and he says the only thing he could see was a flashlight because it was too dark.
He's adding words to what he said.
Also told us that the house was blacked out. How would he know if the house is blacked out? Because he's seen the footage, all of it. Here you go.
But why is law enforcement confirming that and showing him that that's a video of Sebastian taking the trash out if you can't tell anything? Kind of interesting to me.
It's shadow. There, I didn't see a time leak on there because it was a ring cam.
Aye.
So
and when the video of him taking the trash out, you can't really see. Can you explain what you actually saw in that footage then of him taking out the trash, allegedly?
You see a flashlight.
And
that's about it.
You see the light of a flashlight, or what you assume is a flashlight, I'm assuming.
And that's it.
That's it.
And what time was that at again?
You see a shadow. There, I didn't see a time leak on there because it was a ring cam.
And if you can see a shadow,
Aye. So only and that ring cam. I know you can't give us specifically the location of that ring cam, but was it nearby? Was it like that video that we saw that was like, you know, a cropped, super cropped footage from a very big picture?
They showed me the whole thing.
Okay, so sorry. I just want to reiterate.
you can't have both things true at the same time. You can't have it being pitch black out whatsoever to where you can't see anything to where there's a flashlight, which would be light to show a shadow. So obviously there's light in some capacity. Maybe it's really, but if there's enough to make out a shadow, then there's light coming from somewhere in a blocker.
Right, in case I was muted, because Mercury retrograde, and I'm a Gemini. Long story short, ruling planet, everything technical. It is like going wild right now with the eclipse. With Seth Rogers stating that he has seen the garbage footage, he has stated that it was absolutely too dark to see.
She's adding words to what he said.
Anything but a shadow and a flashlight, which he's also stated that the house was a blackout. And that is how we know when Katie says there were no outside lights on that night. She is truly being honest in that. And so, without Chris Proud being there, he wouldn't know anyway.
It's been confirmed that there's floodlights on the house. Whether they were on or not, I have no idea.
And he tries to trump Katie and say that the two outside lights were on. But Seth has seen the footage of the person carrying the garbage out to the curb, and it's just a silhouette, just a shadow with a big flashlight.
He didn't say a big flashlight.
Because it's too dark to see otherwise.
And it's too dark.
Okay.
Too dark for me to say that that's my son. You know?
Yeah, no doubt. I would be wondering if that's actually him or not too, right? That's interesting.
You can always hope it is, but that's speculation. You know?
Right.
It's speculation.
Sounds like law enforcement, in my opinion, is a little bit more confirmed that that was him in some way, shape, or form, whatever. If they showed that to him and, showed it that they think that that's Sebastian, I'm assuming that's what they assume. I don't see any other reason, but all of this different, like it's dark out, it's too dark, but you're able to make out a shadow and a flashlight, and then she's twisting it into a whole other situation. It's just ironic.
No doubt the speculation part. Okay, so
okay, there.
They could have just said, this is the video we saw. Like, there's so much, but why make a whole story out of this? Why? Tell me.
we go with that. All right. I don't know, you guys. Everybody's saying, "Uh-oh, what happened?"
This is not.
I don't know.
Nothing.
Am I
Nothing.
still live? Where am I? Uh-oh, yikes. Hello. I feel like I'm live. Give me a 1 if we're still live.
Fortunately, you're still here. Okay, we're speeding her.
Tell me someone ain't report your channel. Is this live over? What happened? Probably won't.
We're going to speed it up because she
must have cut it. Those that left, too.
That was her big bomb, but just wait, she's got another one.
For Brinks.
Oh, here.
I went to Katie's LinkedIn.
Okay.
Right? And got a little bit of information about her. So she works for Brinks, home and full-time. And it says present 3 years, 7 months, Nashville, Tennessee, United States. And it talks about fire alarm systems and all kinds of stuff. But I was more interested in what she's still doing because she's still U.S. Navy, according to LinkedIn. Interior Communications Electrician, U.S. Navy. And I was like, what the heck is that? So let's get into what that is. Let's see. Yeah. Here we go. Let me get rid of this. And this is, I pre-recorded this so I could read the website to you.
Oh, great.
So I went over to My Navy HR, which is an official website of the United States government, and I asked, what is Interior Communications Electrician, an IC? And it gives a general description. Interior Communications Electrician, install and maintain, repair the equipment needed for interior communication within ships and shore facilities. These communication systems include public address systems, interior telephone systems, alarm systems, engine telegraphs to communicate orders, for changes in engine speed from the bridge, ship's command station to the engine room, certain kinds of ship control and equipment monitoring devices, the ship's gyro compass, the rudder position indicator, audio-visual equipment for the ship's TV entertainment systems, advanced navigation, and various other equipment.
Here we go.
Katie is an expert for the Navy in some of the very high-tech communications, whether it's telephone, tracking, radar, gyro compass, communication to the engine room, and all kinds of ship control and equipment monitoring.
That's a broad description.
Do you feel me?
No, we don't.
And she ain't got no security stuff. She would know how to cover her tracks digitally in a professional way. For real.
Now she's an expert and knew how to cover her tracks in a professional way because of the description that you're reading from an online website that we don't even know if it had anything to do with her career in the Navy or what she even did.
Cool. I mean, like,
great.
Boom.
She just dropped a bomb on us.
Let's talk about her duties. Let's continue with what her duties are.
Just
that is a lot of understanding security, including telephones, cell phones, radios. What do they do? The duties performed by ICs include maintaining and repairing interior communication systems, preparing and interpreting blueprints, wiring and diagrams and sketches, installing and inspecting dry cell and storage batteries, recharging wet cell batteries, testing interior communications and gyro compass equipment, installing telephone and other communication circuits, boxes, switchboards, and bell buzzer systems, maintaining plotters and dead reckoning equipment, maintaining and operating TV systems, maintaining and repairing shipboard navigation equipment.
What?
What did I miss? There was something supposed to be exciting in that. Did you guys catch it? Because I must have missed it. It must have went right over my head.
Maintaining and repairing shipboard navigation equipment? Are you kidding me? This person installing telephone systems and circuits and boxes and switchboards and bell buzzer systems? interpreting blueprints, wiring. What?
No.
Let's continue. The work environment.
Oh shit.
Somebody would know. This person would definitely know how an individual could be digitally tracked.
And it's a wonder, isn't it? How there's no
Wait, did she track ships or kids? I'm confused because you're like dropping all these bombs on like the navigation of a ship, and then you're trying to translate that to tracking her own child. Man, my tinfoil hat is definitely not fucking thick enough, and my buddy over here, this is all, once again, this is all you sound like because you've officially lost it. Lady, reel it back in. That's all you fucking sound like, because what in the insanity is this shit?
electronic data after the roadhouse anywhere of Katie that we know of, that we're aware of. Well, let's hear about her work environment.
Oh.
It goes on to talk about the working environment. People in the IC reading work in many different situations at sea and ashore, while most of the
at sea and at shore. Did you hear that?
work is performed.
Sorry, you guys. This isn't even funny. I shouldn't even be joking about it because it's disgusting manipulation, misinformation, complete insanity. And there's a child missing. None of this is necessary. The misinformation is out of control, but this is absolutely ridiculous. And last night when I looked at this and was watching this, it had 48,000 views. 48,000 fuckers running around the internet thinking that this is factual information, that there's a criminal investigation. There's some irony with lights and bullshit going on at the house, and Seth can't do this and that, and Katie's operating ships and tracking shit. I mean, where else are we headed?
Indoors, it may be a clean or dirty environment of a shop-like nature, and it may be in any kind of climate or temperature. ICs usually work closely with others. Most systems ICs work on is of a modern and solid-state electronic type, making the reading a very technical profession. Requirements are ASVAB, which I don't know what that means. Must have normal color perception. Security clearance required. Must be a USA citizen.
Security clearance required in the Navy, and I betcha.
You bet us what?
And she doesn't have a camera at her house. No cameras at her house. Not even one. That blows my mind.
Ma'am, I think that happened years ago from the sounds of it.
All right, you guys, I grabbed a little of our Nancy Grace about an expert on there that I found was absolutely intriguing. And I want to share her analysis. Now, she is from Cold Cases.
Yeah, let's not do that. Let's go to another one because I think we saw enough about that. Yeah, Tracy, I feel absolutely insane at the moment. Truthfully, I can't even quite bring it back to focus because what the fuck was that? I was listening to that going, am I this delusional anymore that this is not like none of this makes sense? Now we are going to Spanky, the melatonin of YouTube. Spanky last night was on his third channel called Hey Sweet Tea. And he had some interesting things to say and do with mixing in Summer and Sebastian's case. So we're going to talk about that. And then we will probably get to Brittney J. Let's go. We're starting at the 21-minute mark, just for anybody that's looking for where I'm starting. And we are speeding him up officially.
YouTubers have over 10,000 leads in a row. I mean, almost 3 years for Summer. That makes me want to literally sit here.
Let me go back to regular speed for that so you can hear that again. Okay, there you go.
Look, home, pool, lake.
This is Justin of Justice for All.
Right.
Spanky. Okay, pass it at home.
YouTubers have over 10,000 leads in a row. I mean, Almost 3 years for summer. That makes me want to literally.
YouTubers have over 10,000 leads for summer. Did you catch that to begin with? Over 10,000 YouTube.
Sit here and cry, Marlena.
What?
Because Ronnie Lawson, they have fucked this up, in my opinion. I usually don't talk like that, but this little girl is out there somewhere while 2 dope fiends are sitting on that hill or wherever the hell they are, getting by with everything.
He's going to start off talking about summer. He was talking about Sebastian. Of course, that's why what's on the channel, but you're going to hear where he links them back up. And you're going to get why I'm playing this in a minute. Hey, bebop, bebop, bebop.
It's ridiculous. Late night with Justin. I don't know. I am just so, like, summer needs to be found. I don't know. Lots of live cams in Juneau, Alaska. Could check that.
The Alaska.
Yeah, Evo, Alaska. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I think it's about. I don't think it's. I really, personally, it's so. I mean, I just don't see Sebastian being in Alaska personally. He looks like he couldn't find an asshole with a flashlight. Yeah. And I'm afraid summer's never going to be found. What are they going? June 15th, when we're in Tennessee this year. I'll be there this year. I've been there every year, every single year since summers went missing. I've been to Tennessee countless times. What are they going to do this year? Nothing. Nothing. Can't even name a fucking suspect after 3 years. Can't even clear anybody after 3 years.
Ooh, he's really pissed off about the summer case that he has inserted himself and muddied the water in for almost 3 years. For those of you that don't know, this is Spanky of Justin Justice for All, Clutch Shows Pearls, and Hey Sweet Tea is his 3rd channel. He got demonetized on one of his channels, so he created another one. Spanky exploits children's tragedies, suicides, doxes SA victims, the gamut. He runs the gamut, exploiter of all exploiters. Spanky is also known for announcing that a Marine veteran passed away based off of a comment he pinned in his chat, a $2 super chat that instead of vetting, he announced to everybody and they broadcasted everywhere. Meanwhile, the man was still alive. But he is really stuck on the summer case. That is like where he goes back to a lot. Him and his mods tracked down Jose, exploited that, in my opinion. And the outcome of Jose, as most of you know, was extremely unfortunate. But here he's going to mix in 2 cases, and I want you to pay close attention to what he assumes about these children.
No wonder. Put some fucking pressure on these suspects. If you know they're suspects, put some pressure on them. When you put pressure on them, right, what happens? What happens? They get uncomfortable. They get uncomfortable. Right? What do people do when they get uncomfortable? They fuck up. That's what they do.
And that is the game plan, my friends. That is why they are encouraging these rebuke sessions, the protests, the pushing the parents of missing Sebastian Rogers to the brink of exhaustion. I'm sure. I can't even imagine what the family is going through. It's called a pressure campaign. They try to apply pressure, try to get people to react, to do things stupid when they are going through one of the most horrific times of their life with the child missing, as is, with no answers. They attempt to, because they don't think law enforcement is doing their jobs, they think it's their duty to put a pressure campaign on these people. If somebody is going to get hurt, it's becoming extremely dangerous, because now they're taking it to where Chris and Katie are, outside of the RV park, with this rebuke thing that they think is just acceptable. They've gotten Don Wells fired from his job. And when I say they, I mean people, creators that he associates with and or in his arena. It's so over the top.
Poor Summer. They're hoping we'll forget about Summer. Haley Cummings, yeah.
Absolutely, Gemini. I agree.
What's the Wells doing? Probably smoking crack and snorting coke right now off each other. I guess. It's what they've done their entire lives. Nothing's likely to change anytime soon.
That's, amazing. I don't care what your feelings are in the like who you think is guilty for Summer's disappearance, because at this point in time, factually, law enforcement hasn't charged anyone and Summer is still missing. Summer is another case of the missing child being lost in all the hoopla and the drama on YouTube, in my opinion.
It's awful. God, it makes me mad. That little.
And I can't imagine talking about the parents of a missing child like that. Again, you can have your feelings on them, but factually, law enforcement has not charged them with anything.
Girl didn't have a chance. Didn't have a chance. I can't believe I just said that, but that little baby did not have a chance. Summer has a special place in a lot of our hearts, Great.
This is gross.
It's disgusting that Lawson hasn't even made a near future update. Well, we're almost at June again, and he said, I suspect an update real soon. Now we're at another year. You should check into your own waste management. It is not county. Yeah. I would give anything if they would find Summer, Monkey, Michael Vaughn, and Sebastian. Give anything. I'm surprised the boys don't remember anything. I think those boys was absolutely brainwashed. I think they said, oh yeah, your sister went downstairs. Your sister went downstairs, didn't she? She really didn't go downstairs. There was not going downstairs. Yeah, she went downstairs. They're little. They're laying on the couch. They're playing video games. They ain't playing. They ain't watching nothing. They're going to take up for their parents. Right? They don't even know if their sister went downstairs.
This is so unfair. So unfair to even do. It gets worse.
Nobody came up with that hill and took that child. No.
We don't know that.
Nobody. Not a freaking soul went up on that hill and took that child. Not one.
We don't know. We don't know what happened, unfortunately. Again, law enforcement. You can have your theories and your speculation. A lot of you are deeply involved in the Summer Wells case, and I know that stems up a lot of emotion for a lot of you, but factually speaking, there is not any proof of what happened. Summer is still missing. There are no answers.
It's Ben Hill Road. It's in the middle of nowhere. Her room was a dungeon. There wasn't a freaking light anywhere in the ceiling in that basement. It was a cellar. That's what it was. It was a cellar.
God, this makes me just furious.
That's all it was. Hold on 1 second. S. Elliott's also the very last group of comments on the live chat for the post. Oh, it is heartbreaking. I mean, I don't know what else to do with, Summer Wells' case. What can we do? What else can we do?
Stop
what else can we do?
Yourself.
The only thing I know we can do is pray and maybe work on the next campaign for the next sheriff. And hopefully Fayette County, what is it? Hawkins County.
I think you've caused enough harm in that case, don't you? And whoever said that earlier about, I think there has been significant loss because of these cases, or whatever you stated as far as there's already been harm that's been done. Absolutely. Jose, in my opinion, is one of those.
Hawkins County and what's the other county? It's not Sumner. Anyway, Hawkins County will vote better. Nothing, just wrap her in memory and love. That's just not good enough, though, Gray, for me. It's just not good enough. This little baby deserves to be put to peace. What were her last memories like?
What were her last memories like? You can get what he is implying by these statements, but just wait. He's going to imply it even further.
That's what kills me about these cases. I think of what were their last moments like. That's what keeps me up at night.
What were their last moments like? He's been talking about Sebastian. He's implying that he assumes the worst. Again, I'm telling you, these people don't want a good outcome out of these cases when we have nothing to know what has happened.
That is literally what keeps me up at night. Because it wasn't pretty. It wasn't good. Their life was taken.
We don't know that. We don't know this. That is not factual. We don't know what happened. That's why they're still missing. I'm so sick of people like him.
It's just not good enough. God doesn't like evil. Thank you, chick.
Stop with the faith manipulation and the bullshit, Spanky. Because you guys tried that in Marvon's story too, with this whole faith manipulation. You're such a sweet and innocent. You want to talk about some of the shit you do behind the scenes there, Justin? You want to talk about you supporting transphobia? You want to talk about that shit? This whole fake Christian bullshit act is so far-fetched. This pisses me off, sorry.
Yeah, Sullivan County's a good. Yep.
He's caused so much damage and so many.
Absolutely. Yeah. What do I think happened this summer? I think Don Wells knows. I think Candace Wells knows. But I really think Don Wells knows.
Good thing we're not going off of what you fucking think, right? That they actually have to have evidence and factual proof of things. Nobody cares about what your opinion is. It's about Summer, right? Many people have made it about everything but Summer. Again, factually speaking, law enforcement has not arrested or charged anyone. Summer is still missing.
More than anybody. That's my personal opinion. But I think Dawn, Candace, and Grandis knows.
God, this makes me mad.
You know, I thought, you know, I'm not trying to preach to anybody right now. I'm really not.
Annabella, this one in front of you. When Molly Golightly got banned for her horrific hate speech rants, he actually defended her. Many times. I've posted many things. You probably would have to go back like 5,000 posts, but I have stuff from his Patreon supporting the shit that she was doing, all of the crap. He doxed an SA victim down to her social security number. Again, this man is not what he claims to be.
Not you believe whatever you want to believe, but
Tragic
I have
list.
the fear of God, right? And I was raised like that, and I can't imagine having this big burden on my heart of guilt, right? Of knowing I took a life, as a kid's life, anyone's life, but a kid's life, your own kid's life, right? And walking around with it. Now, Candace, I'll be honest with you, I don't think she's got the capacity to even understand that, but Dawn does. Dawn does.
This makes me mad.
Dawn had.
So for those of you failing to understand why this is important and being mixed in, he mixes in Sebastian's case. On the screen, they were looking through the parents of the grandparents of Sebastian's companies and doing all that. And then he went off on this. This is why. It's all mixed together. You can watch more in the beginning if you would like to.
As Dawn has a worse time, right? Dawn has a worse time from what I understand. Candace, she's got rid of multiple kids taken away from her. This isn't her first rodeo. It's not her first. She's had every child she's ever had taken away from her. This is not.
Annabella, I agree with you. And you're free to say that, of course.
She's used to it. Just the way it is. Some of these people are just not built like you and I. And that's just what we have to realize. They're just built different. They don't think the same way. They don't feel the same way. They don't even love.
Schoolie, I'll dig out that post. There's one specific post that I remember. Yeah, it was horrifying the way he stood by and watched all that happen. It was horrifying. And I I know I made a post on Facebook about how dare you not stand up for people in your community. Like, I was stunned.
The same way, right? Candace is very childlike in a sense. She doesn't, she's just more about herself in that moment. Right? More selfish. Don, as batshit crazy as he is, Don's smart. Don's not stupid. He's actually not stupid. And he knows more, he's more worldly, if you will. He knows more about the world. He's got a better education. And he also believes in a higher power. Oh, Don thinks he's slick. Oh, he absolutely thinks he's slick. Don, and I promise you this.
And this is how we talk about parents of a missing child that haven't been charged with anything and their child's still missing. This is where we're headed with Chris and Katie and Seth eventually too. If this group doesn't get the answers and Sebastian unfortunately doesn't come home and it continues on, this is a preview of where this will be headed. Just a heads up. And I think most of us are aware that it's already getting there, if not worse. They don't care. They don't care about the victims. They don't care about the victims' families. It's all about content and views. And as soon as they don't get the answers that they want, they turn on every single one of them. We've watched it happen time and time again.
Don is a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, 1,000%. There's a side of Don that is very forgiving, very soft, but that only happens after he explodes. It only happens after he explodes. Only happens after he explodes. Yes, Mohawk. He snaps. We've seen it 1,000 times. How many times have you seen it with Don? He snaps. He doesn't have any self-control. Most people in active addiction obviously don't have any control. Spikes stays.
Meanwhile, I continue to hear that Don is actually sober at the current time. Take that for what it is, but I heard that from, I think people in the chat are even saying that.
Rageful for a moment. Then it's, I'm sorry, brother.
No, I don't.
I get worked up. I'm really sorry, brother. Thank you, Danielle. Thank you. I appreciate it. But Don will take, when he is in that.
And you know what? Here's my other thing. And fuck all of you that get pissed about this. Imagine having a child going missing. Imagine not being responsible for that child going missing. Imagine it being almost 3 years and having no answers. Now, we don't know. We have no idea if he's responsible for anything, did anything. Right now, what we know is that they haven't arrested anybody and the parents aren't in cuffs. Can you imagine living with that day in and day out and not wanting to be numb? Not wanting to be numb? If you can for one day say that you wouldn't want to just numb out the fucking world and not use, fuck you. Because I tell you what, give me whatever the fuck to numb me out and knock me the fuck out. I don't give a fuck what it is. I would never want to trade places with a single fucking one of these parents or be judged on their behavior because they have a child that's missing. I can't even imagine where my brain would be or what I would do or how I would act or behave or anything. Trauma and shitty situations like this absolutely impact everybody differently. But one thing, nobody wants to feel the pain of what they're going through. Nobody does. And fuck you, Spanky, for once again, addict shaming somebody. He's really good at that. Meanwhile, he supports people that, never mind.
I think he sees complete red and he doesn't care. There we go again. We're having like tornado. Yes, Candy. Yeah. The mask flips. Yeah. I wonder. I really think sometimes that Don was mad that
he could have easily taken Sebastian's family's business off the screen during all of this. That's the big issue here. Well, I mean, beyond what he's saying is completely disgusting, and this is how they treat parents of a missing child. But he doesn't. He don't care to.
Candace was with Hunter. She hadn't been with Hunter and them for a while.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I have a basement now. And
Veruca, that came from me. I reviewed him like a year and a half ago because he was best buddies with Molly and they were exploiting Marine veterans that attempted suicide. Unfortunately, he succumbed to his injuries and he is no longer with us, but they were exploiting it along with the biological parents of Marvon who didn't raise him. And he is so hard to review and he's mind numbing. Like, it is really hard. Some people call him the wallpaper of YouTube. I call him melatonin of YouTube. Somebody else thought of that, but he is absolutely horrifying. So one day I started like, you know, that, I think it's Mad TV. I think somebody corrected me last time. It was that I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and gosh darn it, people love me, or Stuart Smalley, you guys know that. And somehow that I couldn't think of the name and I just started calling him Spanky and it stuck. So if you hear people running around calling him Spanky, that's why. And it's just kind of stuck. It's not anything against, it's just what we started calling him.
He absolutely was not at work all that day. We're having a tornado. Doesn't Fletcher take that off screen? Ryan Hall, y'all. He's a good guy.
I love Stuart too. I know.
Hey, Stephanie. Good to see you.
I've got.
Oh, I don't think she never stopped being
guy
with Hunter. Perhaps. But why would he want to hurt her? I don't. You know, I think, in my opinion. Hold on.
Nobody gives a fuck about your opinion.
Hold on one second.
Let's fast forward him.
Just looking. It just comes and it goes. It comes really, really strong, and then it just flattens out. Breezy. Periods of rain the next 60 minutes. Damn, it's all over the. We don't really get tornadoes.
Okay, sure. We don't care about your weather.
It's going to be.
We don't.
Praise the Lord. It's really windy here in Orlando, Florida. I love Orlando. Love Florida. Anywhere from Daytona to it's rainy everywhere.
We don't care. Get back.
Your chili peas, because usually people's like, "Oh my God, I live in Florida." South Florida, after all.
Now he's just bitching. All right. Here, you guys want to see how he's.
What incarnation happened? I get this thing.
Here, let me show you guys how he got into that.
I think YouTube knocked me completely off. You know, people said, I think I did a HIPAA violation. Thanks a lot, Chris. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. What the hell's going on?
He gets into here.
Where's this at?
He goes through all of their private properties, businesses, and everything like that. This is on Sebastian Rogers. This is how it's so, like, he mixes the two. That's happening a lot lately.
Fairview Plantation.
I'm not going to go through and show you all their businesses and stuff because there's no need for any of that to be out there as is. Now we are going to, now you heard some of the frustrating things that he had to say. Now we're going to end with a bang. Our favorite little weirdo herself, Brittney J. She had an interesting panel last night, actually, but there's one spot in particular that I just want to have a little discussion with her about. Give me 1 minute while I pull this up.
So much. You're awesome. Chicky, I think it was it 6?
Again, this is all under fair use. This is based on my opinion only. Hi, babe. Okay. Oh, hold on.
Hello.
Kyle's like, That's just Kyle. Everybody pause. All right. So there's one point in here that I want to point out to her because it's really cringeworthy. It's just really weird. Wait, did she take it down? No, this has got to be the right one, right? Was this from last night? Wait, she didn't hide another video, did she?
Thank you so much. You're awesome. Chicky, I think it was it 6:30? We're about to see.
Did she take it down? Did she take her video down last night? When was this? She did. She took it down. Oh, you little stink. That's okay. I've got it. I'll load it later. I've got it all. She did take it down. Yes, she did take it down. She took down her last night one. All right. Well, we'll just end with that then. I'll load it because I have it saved. I just gotta upload it. So we'll come back with that. We'll do Chronicles. I saw your can I play that, Chronicles? Your short. Do you mind if I play that? I was actually cracking up because I didn't even hear that part last night. So let me give you an example of what happened that I was going to show and just give Brittney some advice. So last night she did this thing where she had to step up. I don't know if she was falling asleep on live. I'm not sure. She got up to handle kids, to whatever the case may be. I'm not really sure what happened, but she's gone from panel for quite some time. Sarah was on there. That Nana was on there. There was a gal named Tina, I think, that was on the panel. And they're all sitting there talking. And she steps away. Well, this lady by the name of Jen comes up. And she is talking, like everybody's quiet. They're having a common discussion. Sarah starts asking for prayers for somebody that's going through a court situation that they're unveiling like a bunch of horrific things through the trial. She's asking for prayers. So she's kind of taking over the panel while Brittney's away. No big deal, right? So she asks for prayers for this person. Well, then this Jen is on panel, and Jen comes into the panel and she states very specifically, hey, you guys, I have a friend that just lost XYZ. She talks about her friend and she was like, I was hopeful that we could go over her case and that you guys would be okay with like looking it up and stuff, because obviously this Jen, it's a friend, supposedly a friend of hers. And she was asking them to go like pull the information and look at it together. Okay. Simple request. No big deal. She's obviously a follower of hers. She obviously had been talking to Brittney. This was something that Brittney said when she comes back, that she just hadn't had time to look at it yet. So meanwhile, this is going on in the conversation, like Jen states what it is, and she mentions a GoFundMe at the end of it. She's like, we have a GoFundMe up because it sounds like a horrific incident. There's a child involved, some tragedy involved. I wasn't clear on all the details, but it was a tragic situation. Well, the panel fucking cuts off Jen, who is super sweet. She was respectful. She didn't ask them to do anything. She wanted them to look through it together. So as soon as Jen finishes talking, Sarah does this like, because one of the other guys had asked a question about the case Sarah was talking about, like where was it located? And then they were kind of talking over each other. So Sarah gets irritated and she's like, just to answer the question I was asked before, it's in so-and-so, like just super snotty. The chat's going sideways because people aren't figuring out what the hell is going on here. You know, there's a GoFundMe mentioned, but if you listened to Jen, she asked them to go look through the information to help like get the word out and look through it. She wasn't just trying to get them to send money to anybody or anything. She wanted them to go look through it. So Brittney comes back on panel and she is huffing and a puffing, and somebody in the chat mentioned something about a GoFundMe and she loses her shit. Straight up loses her shit. Oh, Annabella, thank you so much. Once again, thank you for the gifted memberships. Welcome to the Cabana, you guys. Southern Gal, thank you for the membership. Welcome to the Cabana. But she like goes sideways. And I'm like, what the Sam hell is happening here? That's a pretty simple thing. Like all you do is say, I'm sorry, I haven't had time to even look through it. We can either go look through it or schedule a time to go look through it. Simple ask, right? So then they start talking over this Jen on panel, and somehow she finally just gets removed. And then Sarah throws a fit, and she's like, all I was doing was asking for prayers. And she's like, storms out of there. But then they decide to berate Jen, who was just asking for help to tell her friend's story and get the word out and help for her friend and the child involved. I don't know the entire situation, but she was berated on that panel because I feel so disrespected. That's what Brittney was saying. Ma'am, learn how to control your panel and don't fall asleep or be away from it for 10 minutes. And when you have a person on your panel who comes up and asks you a very simple thing, such as, can we go over this because it's an active case, who obviously she is trying to get the word out and do justice for her friend that you could clearly see was torn up, you could have treated her way better. That was gross. And that's probably why you took that down, because it was absolutely disgusting and vile how you talked to her. Super simple ask. And your panel knew it. And they sat there silent and let you berate her. She didn't disrespect you. She was respecting her friend. She gave you all the respect by stating that she wanted to go over it and show you guys. She was giving all of her information. And then you have some teen up there who just derailing everything sideways. But Jen wasn't the one you should have been berating for being disrespectful to you. You were disrespectful to her. And obviously she's going through something, but it was taken away from your grift off of Sebastian, right? The grift of, oh, people were mentioning money, a GoFundMe, because obviously there's a situation that needs help. Did you guys watch it? Did anybody else see that? Jen, by the way, if you need a channel to tell your friend's story or highlight your friend's case, I'm sure we can find one that would do it with integrity and not disrespect you for trying to share the horrific situation that you're going through in California. I was so fucking disgusted. It wasn't even funny. You guys saw it too? Yeah, it was. She treated Jen like Jen did something just terribly wrong and then let the chat go sideways. It was so gross. Absolutely so gross. Militia said she would do it. She would highlight it. She was treated so terribly in that chat for no reason. And she even opened with, can we go over and look at it? That's it. She wasn't disrespectful to no one. She didn't do shit to nobody. I'll load it, Sunshine Mom, because it was gross. It was so gross. She took it down, of course. Yeah. So if anybody knows Jen, I can't remember. I didn't catch. I'll find it in the replay. The name she even gave the name of the victim out, y'all. She wasn't trying to do anything sideways. You could tell, like, she felt so uncomfortable in the way she was berated up there and treated. And then Sarah storms off and Brittany's like, come back, Sarah. Meanwhile, Jen's treated like absolute shit. Absolute shit. But I wanted to play Chronicles short here. Right quick, because this is actually funny shit. This was funny. I was like, oh, it just popped up today. Okay. This is funny. I'm like, I got clipped. Trey, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys all being in here. Yeah, Chronicles. They were just like, she wasn't doing, like, it was so uncomfortable to even listen to and hear how Jen was treated. Like, totally. And all Brittney had to do was take it a step back, control her panel and say, look, I missed all of that. What's going on? And let Jen the space to talk. She was treated terribly. And obviously she's going through a horrific situation. She was talking about how, she's kind of numb to loss. She's lost so many people, but this one just really hits home. Like, it was so hard to hear her treated like that. There's just no need for it. And all she was trying to do was get them to highlight a case, but she's, it's interrupting her grift off of the Sebastian case. She's like, let's get back into Sebastian after she kicked Jen off. It was horrifying. All right. You guys can see that. Let me put it full screen. This is funny. Okay. This is Chronicles of the Shady Short.
And for anybody that's just coming in, because I know that Contessa will be live tomorrow trying to say that I actually gave false information.
Contessa, that's me. Contessa, that's me, because my little name comes up on my phone as Contessa Nonsensical. That started a long time ago. It's capital C-U-N-T. Get it, Britt? You get it?
Once again, Contessa, make sure you clean your ears out and listen to me. I'm saying that it's alleged on the Facebook group that one of the parents failed. We don't know.
Oh, you should see. The thing is you're worried about me calling you out. The thing about this is you're worried about me stating something about this. You should be worried about doing right by the victims.
There are rumors floating that it's Seth, but we don't know Contessa. So
Seth fell asleep during his polygraph. That was his own statements.
I want to make sure Contessa knows that, because Contessa will be going live.
Good girl. You got the C-U-N-T right.
About me again tomorrow, like she always does.
Oh, poor baby Brittney.
You know, trying to say that I'm putting out more misinformation. I'm allowed to have an opinion. My opinion is...
You're allowed to have an opinion, but I'm allowed to tell you when your opinion is misinformation and harmful to victims.
Not misinformation. My opinion is an opinion.
Good twist, but not going to work. Thank you, Chronicles of the Shady, for doing that.
What a whiner. Jesus Christ. I can hear that shit from the other room.
She got my name right that time, though.
Stop whining.
This is Contonio, by the way, too.
Hey.
Or like Twist calls him Cunt Kyle.
Hey.
Thank you for that, Chronicle. I was laughing. I didn't even know that happened. I haven't gotten to all of them. There's so much to hear and see. But here's the problem I have with that. Even like, okay, you're acknowledging that you fuck up all the time. All right, cool. Don't do it for me. Do it for the victims. That's the crazy part, is you're worried about me using your own words to come back at you, when in reality, you should be concerned about what the victims feel. Like, that's really sad that you're more concerned about me drawing attention to your bullshit than you are about doing right by the victims. It ain't about me. You don't need to do any of that for me. You should do it for the victims. This shouldn't even be a discussion that has to be had. Right now, we don't have any evidence to prove that the parents are guilty of anything. Period, point blank, end of story. That's the truth of the matter. So, anyways, do you guys have any questions? So I'm going to try to do T-Rev. We got T-Rev and we've got some more crime, lies, and bullshittery to do. I'm going to try to do them tonight, because then I can take the weekend off. I know. Limey, he always crushes me. I appreciate all of you guys so much. That was a lot to kind of like, but you notice now how they're combining cases with misinformation, and it's the same group of people that continue to exploit these over and over again. By the way, Jen, if anybody knows who Jen is, I didn't catch her in the chat, so I didn't see. I think she got booted. I'm not sure if she got booted or blocked. But Jen, if you listen and hear, there's many people that would highlight your story. Mal said she would. Please get in contact with us. Oh, Schooly Mom, he's interesting. He says, oh, Lisa K. I watched Prayer Garden last night. Between Prayer Garden, Spanky, and Brittney J, I've had all the fake fucking Christians I can even stomach. I don't know if I could actually get through reviewing Prayer Garden without probably bursting into flames. Truthfully. Thank you for supporting Summer's channel. How is it Summer's channel? How is it Summer's channel? Thank you for supporting Summer's channel. God bless you. What the fucking hell is that? Where did you guys find her? And can we please return to sender? Who's responsible for that one? That's what I want to know, because that's where I'm going. Whoever is Smiles, thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Pointer Lover, thank you so much too. You guys are too sweet. Who the hell is responsible for bringing her to the internet? I got a bone to pick with you. Tracy, is it you? I'm blaming this on chasing. I'm just joking. What the absolute hell is that, though? And why can we not? What? Prayer Garden of America. Yeah. It's everything but Prayer Garden. Oh, T-Rev probably. Yeah, T-Rev was. It was you, Scott? It is definitely not Summer's channel, Nana for Life. It is definitely not Summer's channel. And it is blasphemy the way she uses religion in her BS. Like, it is. Oh, Lord. I really don't know if y'all, I have a lot of religious trauma, and people like her just grind my gears to another extent. If you want to really see me like in utter like cuss somebody out and tell them off, that's where to go. She is horrible. The fact that she calls it Summer's channel, exploiting the tragedies of it, meanwhile saying that they know what happened, like, it is horrifying. Horrifying. T-Rev's just a hole. I heard he whined about me too. Y'all, I'm not even joking. I got the inside scoop of a group chat that they're trying to talk about how to remove our channels that are calling them out. Like, what the hell? What the hell? Yeah, she's something else. I've watched people review her, but I've never no. That's, you guys are really wanting me to go to hell if you want me to review her. Let's go look. Prayer Garden. We'll go look, Bob. We will go look right quick. She's been dabbling her toe in Sebastian's case. That's my big issue with this. I mean, what she's done with Summer is bad enough, but this is horrifying. Okay, let's look. She has, oh, this is the one that Chris told Seth to go to church. That's the one we will review. I will do that one. But look, we're looking for children with, I don't know if I'll notice it, you guys, because I don't. Do you know how far back it was, Bob? Oh, Britt, Kyle, I don't think Kyle would be able to handle that. Do we know where it was? Oh my God, she really exploits Summer's kid. Oh my God. Wow, does she ever? This pisses me off right here. This showing up when they were in a hotel when JLR showed up. Of course she was going to be scared. I'd be scared of JLR showing up. Oh my God, look at all of this. Makes me so sad. All the pictures of the kids and the way that she's done the parents. Anything you guys notice? Oh, community tab. Gotcha. Okay. Going. No fucking way. Oh, y'all, I'm going to hell. I don't know if I should even look at this shit. What is wrong with these people? What is wrong with these people? I got the message. Yeah, I think anybody that was going to tell the story, they'll have to vet it, of course. I'm not saying anything. She just asked for a simple thing. Of course, they're going to have to vet it, but thank you for that. If anybody covers it for, of course, they'll have to have factual proof. What the fuck is going on here? Y'all. What? What? Why do people do this? What the hell? What? You guys, what? All right, y'all. I can't look at it. This is going to make me fucking. These are somebody's children, you evil, sick bitch. These are people's kids. You have no right to do this to them. This is beyond disgusting. These are not your children. I don't give a shit what you people think. These are not your kids. Oh my God, she even changed her eye color. Oh yeah, I can't do that. I'm gonna lose my shit. Can you imagine these being your kids? Bob, thank you for pointing that out. I'm still like, Mal, just so you know, I got a message that said we need to vet Jen's story and stuff. And I was like, of course, you know, but if she does reach out to anybody to tell her story, I'm assuming that's what she was trying to get him to do last night. So if anybody decides, of course, they're going to vet it. That's the first thing you do is go through and vet the story. So anyways, if you're still in here, Mal, and you hear me, and I appreciate the message too. What? Thank you, Tony. Yeah, anybody's going to. She still, no matter what, she didn't need to be treated that way because she was asking for them to absolutely like preview it, to go through and look at stuff. She named her all sorts of stuff. People, of course, you have to vet anything like that, y'all. Anything. I don't know, Mystery. I don't know how people get away with this shit. I really don't. I don't have a clue. Nana, I can't even imagine how this makes them feel. Here, I'll show you guys the video I was watching.
And that's because, let's see. Truth, nothing but the truth, so helping God, right? He may wake up and just decide to, he may wake up one day and decide to just tell everything and, save his soul, right? He might. I don't know. I don't give up hope on nobody. I don't give up hope on anyone. I pray for everybody. Just like Can might get up and, she might be the one. She might be the one's like, I can't live like this. I'm going to, I got to save myself. She might be the one spill all the beans, right? She might spill all the beans. Maybe Can, maybe Can ain't going to want to go to Hades. Maybe she'd be like, I ain't dealing with this no more. You know,
this woman isn't.
I want to live forever. I don't want to, you know, be like this no more. She might speak up. She might tell the truth. I don't know. I don't know. I don't give up hope on none of them. I sure hope to God one of them does. I hope to God one of them does speak up and tell the truth, right? I think I personally, to be honest with you, I think we would have had all the answers to help Summer and Summer's case if, you know, people wouldn't have been shutting the wells up from day one. I believe.
She thinks they would have gotten the answers. What? What?
That if the wells would have stumbled upon someone smart enough to get all the answers, right? It would have been all good, right? It would have been all good. I mean, what I'm trying to say is, Sheer didn't do Summer no favors, right? Not to be mean, but Sheer didn't do Summer no favors.
What if
Sheer was sitting there, you know,
what have you done for her?
You know, Sheer was sitting there shutting Dawn and Candace down. And when she shut them down, it kept us from getting information, very much needed information for Summer's case, right?
Another one that needs very much information. Yeah, I think. Oh, what the absolute hell is this shit? What up, Georgia? You in a better mood today? You gonna ask me if I'm puffy again?
For Summer's case. And, you know, Benny Keys done the same thing, right? Benny Keys done the same thing. And by the time Benny started feeling a little guilty and actually, you know, and actually wanting to work for Summer instead of the Wells, well, the Wells shut him down, right? The Wells shut him down. So, you know, I think we could have had all the answers if people would have been a little more smarter and a little less greedy, right? A little less greedy.
I agree with you though, Georgia. Social media is one little blip. When you look at mainstream media like Nancy Grace, Jennifer Coffendorfer, the people that Vinnie Politan, some of those, like some of his stuff I like, other stuff of it I don't like, the speculation and bringing on complete rumors and stuff. But you're right. This is like a huge problem, a small section, but this travels the misinformation like wildfire on YouTube.
So, you know, it is what it is.
I know.
It is what it is. You know, you win.
Georgia, I'm giving you shit. I really don't care that you asked me if I was puffy. I just like to give you shit about it. I don't care, but thank you.
Some you lose some. That's how it is. But, you know, I don't think Summer's case is lost. I do not think Summer's case is lost. I think there's still hope. I think there is still a lot of hope for Summer's case. Right? I really do. And I think that God, you know, I think God is listening. I think he's listening. There's so many people praying. So many people praying for Summer. So many people sending those prayers up in the name of Jesus, right? And when you pray in the name of Jesus, God hears you. Trust me, he hears you. And all these prayers going up for that baby. When God wants Summer found, she will be.
All right, I got to call my dad and ask him to borrow the holy water and the fucking oil that they used to cast the demons out of me with, because I obviously still have them, but this bitch has way more than I do, and I'm going to need that to protect myself to review this. Because goddamn, I don't want to take on her demons, because holy shit, what is happening here, y'all? This is not, no way, no how. Again, I'm going to ask one more time. Who is responsible for bringing this one out? Where did she come from? Kim Holmes, she says it's Summer's channel. It is so absolutely gross. The way she does all the blast. Oh. Again, your relationship with who you choose to believe. Ziggy did. See, that's one I stay away. Thank you, Duchess. You are entitled to have whatever relationship with whoever you believe in. That is a personal relationship between you and your higher power. Okay. Whatever you choose to believe in, it is not a personal thing. I have friends of all different religions. Don't care. Just stop pushing it on other people and using it to mask shitty behavior. That's it. You cannot say that you're praying for people doing all of these things, meanwhile continuing to harm misinformation. That is a no-go. All right. Kathy P, right? Please take her back. Lie me. All right, you guys, I'm going to head out. I'm going to try to get, if I can get my shit together, and my girls are coming home, we'll see what they're doing. They probably want to go swimming because it's in the 90s again today. And I like to go touch grass. Smoke some occasionally too, okay? I'm old enough to do that. However, if I don't see you guys tonight, I will see you this weekend. Amethyst and I will be doing a video this weekend, a chit chat from a victim's perspective of how harmful this stuff is, how biased the media and stuff can be. Oh, it'll be a lot, but we're just going to have an open and honest discussion and talk about it. And again, if you need any information on what's going on there, I have a grass fetish too. You guys are great. We have a lot of people to get through, y'all. Like, it just wraps from one to another to another to Kathy P. My Summer Wells people are in here. Hold on. Before you guys leave, Kathy found a new channel. What's the name of that channel, Kathy? And by the way, Kathy, you can drop your channel link in here too. Of course you guys can. You guys know that. You guys can drop your channel links. What was the channel that you called? I want to show you guys this while you're in here. Kathy showed this last night and I cannot remember. Something with Emily. Something with Emily. She doesn't do live videos. I'm not going to review her, but she's got a, thank you. I want to show you guys this. Kathy, are you going to cover her? Elise.
This is the last time you'll probably hear from me. I'm going to stay at my.
Is this it? Elise, Criminal Gossipers with Elise? No, that's not it. With Emily. It's Elise. Yeah, it's Elise.
This is the last time you'll probably hear from me. I'm going to stay.
Let me see if I can find it. No, this is the channel, I think. Is this right, Kathy P? Is this the right one? She's got a picture. She's got a video Kathy was showing. I just want to show you guys this because what Kathy showed was horrifying. The horse. Oh, right here. Right here. Hold on, I got to go back out so you guys can see the thumbnail on that. Do you see the one in the middle of your screen right here? Summer died. Do you see that? Her name's Criminal Gossiper with Elise. With Elise. But do you see that middle right there? Right here. This one here, the 41-2-24. Yeah. Another one that exploits the ever-loving shit out of this. Kathy pointed it out last night. Monster running free. 100% foul play. Shocking. Like yeah, this is, oh my God, she's got Jose from 4 months ago. Monster on the Hill. Worst case. What the fuck? Wow. This is fucking wild. Oh, y'all, thank you. It's unfortunate that I even have to. I wish I honestly would rather say that I have no subs and that this didn't need to be done and victims were treated better. truthfully, I really wish victims were treated better and there was no need for anything like this. Honestly, but I appreciate you all for being here. It makes me feel like we're actually trying to somewhat do something to help, and I appreciate all of you so much. This is gross. This is gross. Kathy, if you cover it, I will make sure I share it out, but this is just fucking, like, who does that? Who does that? She's still missing, y'all. She's still missing. There's no, oh my God. Planned accident or a runaway. Oh yeah, no. No. Too many red flags. Now she's doing. Georgia, she had a loss in her family this week. They had a fur baby that she said it in my chat the other day. I checked on her the other day after she had said that, and just to make sure she was okay, but she lost a fur baby. Revival, just joking. No, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all my mods, of course. I just wish there wasn't a reason for this, right? You guys know what I'm saying. Like, I wish there was not a reason for this. I wish there wasn't a space that we even had to correct this, because at the end of the day, there's victims and their families that are being re-victimized. I appreciate all of you being here once again, all of my mods. I love and adore you guys. Thank you so much. To all the Islanders. Maybe Kyle and I will do a members only, because we have a lot of members and I haven't done one in a while, and we'll just chit chat with you guys. We'll do something this weekend, but you'll see my face around. I appreciate you all so much. Guilty of crime with Jay is following. I don't know who that is. Oh, Smiles, I appreciate you all. It's because of you guys pushing me to be a better human all the time. Like, it's, hey, go ask Alice. It's good to see you. All right. I could see, this is my favorite part, just reading the comments and talking to you guys. All right. I'm going to get out there, get out of here, but you guys will see me back. We have lots of other stuff to do. You should see my watch history. It's real traumatic. For my Summer Wells community members, I think we need more than a 50-gallon bucket of holy water for me to enter, like, oh shit, revival. By the way, you guys, so last time, just so everybody knows, supposedly I was on a payroll of Katie Joy's for a long time. Let me tell you, the bitch never pays, so don't waste your time. I'm just joking. I've never been associated with her, but they always said that I was on her payroll. Well, now I have moved on, and people in the comment section say that I'm working for the Proud Feet family. I've never had a conversation with them and would never bother them with this, ever. But somebody assumes that I'm on their payroll. It's crazy to me that it's so astounding to people that we cannot blame the families until there's proof otherwise. Yeah. So my mods are going to revolt until they get paychecks, because supposedly I'm on all these payrolls. We just don't get paid. Yeah, craziness. You can go look in the comment section. I think it's still, I didn't remove it or anything. Kimberly, hell, I'll take it. And I will work for free if it means defending another family. Oh, burden of proof. It has been a hellacious week. Yes, Duchess, I forgot. Okay. Duchess, I work for Duchess. Duchess is in charge of payroll. By the way, if you haven't checked out what Duchess posted today, she did an update about the signs, the billboards that she helped. Incredible views that they're doing. So much hard work there. Please go check out Duchess and Arctic Fox. They are on it all the time, posting missing children, everything. A little bit Coco, she's still having a lot of nausea, but she did get the Botox, and I think it'll help in a couple days, but she's just having a hard time. I had a migraine. Did you guys see me? Somebody mentioned this. I chugged my electrolytes yesterday and then followed it up with a Mountain Dew, and they were like, you realize caffeine dehydrates you more, right? And I was like, yeah, I had a migraine and I didn't have any warm Coca-Cola. So the next thing I had was a Mountain Dew. I needed caffeine fast because I was getting a migraine. But all right, I'm out. Yes, please go check out Duchess. You heard it here first. That'll be the new rumor. Yes. Thank you guys for all you do. Continue to have the conversations. I'll find you some more crazies to review here. We'll have some more fun. And I will get that loaded up. It's like I can't remember if it's 4 or 5 hours, the video. So it'll take a little bit for me to get it up. And then I will try to clip and cut it and stuff. If I see clips around, I'll share them out though of her panel last night. Thank you, ladies and gents. Have a great night. And I will see you either later today or tomorrow. Bye, y'all.